What is up, everybody? You're live at the Prodigy. Is another great Monday night. We actually have something exciting to discuss on this Monday night. This is the first time in a very long time I've actually been anticipating WWE content. It feels like a breath of fresh air. It feels like a new day, not that new day, an actual great day coming up. WrestleMania is in the sunlight, or what's the old expression? Is in the rearview mirror. It's happened. It's past. I didn't watch it. I only followed it online and through my other friend's podcast. Omari just joined us, so I'll be having him come on in a second. Jason, old school Jason, not my usual Jason that's on here, a good follower and friend from the community, may be joining us today, along with JoJo when he gets on in a bit. Man, it's a different time right now to be a wrestling fan. But before we get into that, man, we're gonna open up with this intro. Then we're gonna bring Omari in. We're gonna talk about all these great things. So we're gonna hypothetical book before JoJo because I don't want to get into too much of the news and analytical stuff until JoJo get on because man, I'm kind of go back and forth with that. But let's get into it. Yo, what is up? You're live at the project. Another great day, man. WWE in the hands of new owners pretty soon. It's the night after WrestleMania, which means fresh call-ups, a lot of other things. We got Omari on the line with us. Omari, man, from Oklahoma. What's causing all this, son? What's up, dude?
Nothing much. I was in a good mood to now. That something just pissed me the fuck off.
Wrestling related or regular life stuff? Like what?
No, it's not wrestling related. This dumb bitch on Twitter, man.
Oh, really?
Yes, man. You know how I'm not gonna get too much in politics, but essentially she said, "Oh, we need to bring back the draft for all the ungrateful the ungrateful generation in America." That shit pissed me off. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, huh? And it is the Republicans, mind you. The same, they go after. I'm not trying to get too political, but this just pissed me off, man.
Right.
You're gonna see me re-ranting on this bitch.
I'm just gonna laugh because I don't mind that type of stuff. I actually get a tickle out of when people are stupid. So I'm gonna check that out. But yeah, Omari, man, we'll talk about that a lot more. Actually, at some point, I'm gonna take you on your idea. We're gonna do a political sometime this week, maybe Wednesday. I'm off work Wednesday. We probably can, because I just like randomly get online sometimes when I'm off work, just so I don't be bored and have something to do after work if I'm not playing the game. So we'll do that on Wednesday. We'll talk all things politics. We could do that.
Yeah, essentially what she said is basically she was saying we should bring back the drive back and sacrifice a generation of young men, and that pissed me off. It's like, ain't families going through enough already? It's already back. They have to work more because of the current inflation that's going up. That's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse.
Yeah, so you're right about that.
It worse for families by sacrificing their children. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Right. Some people aren't conscientious at all online, and they deserve to get embarrassed when they talk stupid stuff. But like I said, we'll do a political show because I've been wanting to. Even prior to Omari opening the show the way I was going to do one anyway because I like talking about politics every so often, and it was a lot of stuff I got to say about that Trump stuff. But we'll do a whole because that needs its own show because the amount of stuff we need to cover that's gonna have to be like a 2-3 hour show that we could do. Like I said on Wednesday, because tomorrow this is gonna be kind of a day 2 thing. Because I'm not staying on here for the whole episode of Raw. I'm not staying on this motherfucker for 3 hours. We're gonna do an hour, buck and a half, like we always do. So maybe 2 if JoJo got a lot of MMA to cover. Other than that, we doing an hour 15, hour 30. I'm getting the fuck out of here because I got to work tomorrow. So I'm not trying to be up talking about wrestling all day. I usually split Monday between 2 days. We do Monday and Tuesday. We can do NXT coverage and the rest of Raw tomorrow. So yeah, WrestleMania passed. I think a couple of you guys kind of glanced at. Did you watch both nights or you just watched one night, Omar?
I was going to say this first to end this off. Be prepared to see me writing on this dumb bitch on Twitter all night. And probably tomorrow. I'm
just going to laugh at her, to be honest with you.
I'm going shit. But I didn't watch it. Honestly, I really didn't care about it. I was at work on Saturday. And then I worked Sunday home early. But I just watched Society Review stream because I really didn't care. Because what was there to interest me other than like the blood, like the whole Roman stuff and the Ray Dom match? I didn't care. Like I didn't Brock Lesnar, the Brock Cena Edge match, and they're 3 of my favorites of all time. I grew up watching them, and they be interesting. That's just tell you how. This should tell you about this Mania. Even though I understand, you want to put, the newer guys over. Cena put over Theory, Edge trying to put over Balor. I understand. That's how it is wrestling. The older guys put over the newer guys. That's how it's supposed to be. I just didn't care for it personally. It wasn't the match. It wasn't a match. It was just the build to it, like Cena and Theory. Yeah. That was a terrible build. Because Cena was barely on the show. He appeared on one Raw.
Right.
And it was the same thing with the championship match. Why is Roman Reigns a part-timer around WrestleMania? You should have him on the shows every week, building up to your biggest event. Right. For people who want to criticize Brock for being a part-time champion, at least Brock was on every Raw when it came to pay-per-view. When you was building up to pay-per-view, he was on the Raws. Roman Reigns has not done that. He's barely on as it is. What the?
Yeah, I mean, you hit the needle on the head, man. You definitely hit the needle on the head with that.
They wonder why nobody watches this no more. They wonder why. They can't. And people wonder why wrestling can't be added to our levels of mainstream again. They can't even be roots aggression at levels of mainstream again.
Well, we might be jumping the gun on that after this announcement with Endeavor and WWE merger, because what we know about Endeavor, if anybody didn't watch the press conference, it was 16 minutes, not press conference, but the interview that Vince McMahon did, I forget, with CNBC. The interview he did with CNBC with the Arya guy, who's the head guy of Endeavor, who owns UFC now. They're about to own WWE for 51% ownership, 49% WWE stockholders and board of directors. Vince McMahon is going to be the executive, what they call executive CEO. So he's gonna run. He's gonna be over the WWE side. Nick Khan's gonna be president, and Dana White's gonna be president of UFC. But the other guy, Arya, he's the head over all of it. So if you didn't watch that 16, it was great. First of all, Vince McMahon has a new look. He looks like Vince Adams from the Addams family. So that was one funny part. The second thing is he did not miss a beat. Vince will be 77 years old in August. He did not, or 78. He did not miss a beat. He's still Vince. He looks crazy. He's a pasty face weirdo. He needed the do-rag, but I mean, he didn't miss a beat. Victor, did you see the interview? He didn't miss a beat at all. Vince is still Vince. Like, they was trying to trap him. And don't get me wrong, the guy was a good interview. He was asking good questions. It was engaging. It wasn't like those annoying, like, Fox, CNN, dumbass liberals that ask dumb questions to try to irritate you with no reason. The guy asked good questions, but Vince cornered all that shit. They kept trying to trap him with the hush money said. Vince was like, dude, this is the best merger we ever had. This is going to do a lot of opportunities for people. This is good for WWE. And he was like, dude, I can't run this company for another 10 or 20 years. I'm older. I like the hands of Endeavor. I like what they have to offer. I've had a relationship with this guy with Endeavor over 20 years. I like what the UFC's doing. I like what the Middle East brings to this. He was very positive. He talked about a lot of benefits, and you could tell they were really reaching for a headline, and they couldn't get one. Vince played all of them. And you know what should have happened, Victor? Vince should have came out on Raw tonight, even though he didn't start off Raw. I was hoping Triple H started off Raw saying he was going to fucking quit. That would have been the best thing, like his dumb wife quit. But it didn't happen, unfortunately. Vince should have came out doing the Bobby Shmurda dance. That shit would have been funny. What's that, Omar?
We're stuck with him. I heard that he's gonna still be, in charge of creative. I'm like, wow.
Just send this motherfucker to what the fuck is this place called? NXT. Send him to NXT. Now he did put the belt on sexy Indy Hartwell, so I like that. That chick she's like uniquely hot. Like her clothes is a little too baggy sometimes, but like she needs to show them cheeks. Cause boy, when she had on some white like leather jeans. Oh my god, when she was with heels, when she was with Dexter Loomis. What's that?
Baggy clothes making a comeback, and they trying to bring back the 2000s.
Bro, wait, say that again. Bring out 2004.
Man, they trying to baggy clothes making a comeback. Damn, the 2000s really trying to come back.
Well, it's not that baggy. I mean, like her wrestling gear, it don't really bring her curves out. That's what I mean. Like they too loose or whatever. She needs to wear tighter clothes because she's got a sexy body and her lips too. You can tell she's a good kisser, and she's got that sexy Australian accent. But my family's out in California as we speak. I couldn't go because of work, but they're out there with other family members visiting. And they were like not that far. They was like 15 minutes from where WrestleMania was. They didn't even care to go. They was already planning to go around this time of the year anyway, but they didn't even care to go. But my niece did text me a picture of Vince McMahon's Celebrity Star Walk of Fame, so I just posted that on Twitter. She just sent me that literally like right before I went live, like a minute before I went live. She texted it to me. But yeah, like right now, like what me and Omari can try to do is try to be optimistic. As far as where WWE's going for, this is all hypothetical. I'm optimistic. I don't expect any of this to be implemented. Yeah, WWE being bought by Endeavor is going to change things slightly. Like we'll see more cussing. We're going to see probably a little more blood. But I'm very fearful that they're going to try to make this sports entertainment. They're going to try to make the women look like shoot fights. It's going to look bad. And then they're going to take everybody's personality away because by Endeavor being like a UFC thing, which is a real sport, I got a feeling they're going to try to make everybody like kind of serious fighters. And I don't want wrestling to be that. Yeah. I'm okay with a slice of wrestling being that way, but not the whole show. Go ahead with your best.
I think they'll make it more. I think they'll bring back, the gimmicks of, I think they'll bring back a little bit old school wrestling because if you watch a UFC fight, it's the personalities. John Jones, Conor McGregor, Daniel Cormier. Who was that one guy?
Colby Covington, people like that. Conor McGregor. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so I think they'll want to bring some of that aspect to wrestling. And hey, maybe we'll get Conor McGregor or like John Jones on Raw.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I mean, like I'm okay with the personality part. That's not the part I'm gonna have an issue with. My thing is they're gonna take wrestling too serious. They're gonna try to make it too sporty, like how SmackDown is. Well, like they're gonna make it like with dudes like Gunther and all them getting too much airtime. That's what it's gonna be. Blood. Don't get me wrong. It's gonna be a way better AEW. That's what it sounds like they're gonna do. And what I mean by a way better AEW got blood and WWE don't, but it's still it still sucks. But WWE has a better budget and all that, so it'll basically be AEW with a better budget. That's what I have a feeling that they're gonna lean towards. I hope they decide not to do that, but I think that's what it's gonna be. Like what they need to do is and just let Endeavor do the money stuff and let Vince hire writers. Like let Vince hire some good writers. These writers we got in WWE now, with the exception of Bruce Pritchard and probably P.S. Michael Hayes, they're all Stephanie McMahon hires. They're these SJW liberals that don't know what they're talking about. They're the same type of people that's saying the best female wrestler in the last 10 years was Sasha Banks. That's what these fools actually think. And not only that, they hired that black chick. And I hate to be bad on my own people because I'm a very prideful person and I like to speak positively about my own race. However, the fact that Camise Mobley or whatever that chick name was didn't know who Bobby Lashley was when he was a WWE champion, I wanted her thrown out of a helicopter with no parachute. How did you not know who Bobby Lashley was? And the fact that Stephanie McMahon hires these clueless writers that don't know basic stuff. See, the problem, and then and Cornette and all these people always, goddamn motherfucker, they always screaming about how wrestling people need to be wrestlers. The problem is these wrestlers are marks. They don't understand what as to quote Omari, they don't know what culture is. They don't know how to cater to regular people. That's what's wrong with it. They want everything to be wrestling. That's what Triple H is. He's a WCW Saturday Night mark. That's what these goddamn wrestlers do. That we need people like Vince Russo, people that like the guys that wrote South Park, like culturally good writers. People like even though he got canceled a couple years ago, Louis C.K., people like that, Patrice O'Neal, all these great, Dave Chappelle, good writers. The guy that whoever writes the Conan O'Brien show, actual writers that know how to write good TV shows. The people from Ridiculousness and all those shows. The people from Nick Cannon show. They got some good stuff on there too. I'm sorry, Omar. What are you going to say? I went on the spiel.
We agree. Linda McMahon was way better than Stephanie. I mean, a lot of people don't know. Linda McMahon was the one that signed Russo back in the day.
Yeah, she was. She did some other cool shit too.
And if you everybody played with WWE action figures as a kid, she was the one that got all of that started because she saw playing with it as a kid. So Linda McMahon was a good mind for the business. Right. Honestly, she just kept her, but she wanted to go in politics, so that was that.
Right.
The first thing Vince McMahon ever did was letting Stephanie McMahon get control in the year 2000.
Yep. And don't get me wrong, Stephanie had some good ideas on SmackDown, but she shouldn't be the final say-so. She should be a writer, like one of the writers or something. She shouldn't be like an executive. She don't have what people that are executives are people like Paul Heyman, who know how to motivate talent, who know how to bring the best out. Now, he's wavered a little bit in his later years, even though he's been brilliant with all his bloodline stuff, but he's been bad with, like, looking at talent. Like, he think Will Ospreay will be a top guy. He thought Buddy Murphy should be the head of Raw. Like, this is some crazy shit. Oh, shit. OSJ, 91 up in here. Welcome to the show. We got to give this man a warm official welcome. Old school Jason. What's causing all of this, man? What's up, dude? Finally got you on.
Yo, what's up, brother?
How you doing, man? Yeah, and I can hear from your voice that you're not the other Jason I thought you was, which is my close friend Jason.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, now I'm about to watch some Raw 03.
Okay, yeah, you watching the good stuff. Now you got 91 on there. Was that the year you were born in? Because I was born in 91.
Yeah, I was born in 91.
Okay, we're around the same age, man. That's what's up. And I'm always laughing because you always castrate Marks really early in the morning. Like, I love that. Like, a God is good, God's great. That's you that posts that stuff, right? Isn't that you?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, yeah. I like that because we're starting to live in a world that is so, just removed of like humanity and humility. Like, everybody's a selfish asshole now. And not only that, like, all this SJW bullshit is driving me crazy. Like, it's getting ridiculous, man. It's getting ridiculous.
Like, well, all these little crazy people like to start up with me every morning. So you got to put them in your place,
Right. Sweet, man.
Are you? Jason?
Yeah, that's Jason. That's old school Jason. Yeah.
What's up, bro?
Yo, what's up, man?
Yeah, Top Dog's on here with us too. Omari. Yeah, we're just shooting the shit. Now, before we get back in, Omari, let's briefly get Jason's thought. Did you even bother to watch WrestleMania, Jason?
Nah, I didn't watch it. How was it?
I didn't watch it either. That's why I asked you. Omari didn't watch it either. So when JoJo come over here I read about it. It sounded about what we expected. Like, a lot of marks won with the exception of Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I already hear them overrating the show, saying it's like one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time.
It was not.
Bruh.
It was not. It wasn't even close to one of the best WrestleManias ever. For the best thing I could say about WrestleMania was the set. They finally, because we already know the last couple years, and Jason, I'm sure you know this, they had those terrible big screens and nothing else. That's what WrestleMania has been for 7 years or something ridiculous. But they finally actually had a decent looking set. And then they had the corny stuff, like they had KSI, the celebrity fighter, coming out in like him and what's his name, energy drink bottle. Him and Logan Paul, their little body. And I'm like, oh, really, dude? Like that we talking about corny movies. I get it was WrestleMania Hollywood, but it's some stuff that's too corny. Like, they could have kept that. It could have just been regular KSI with I forget what the energy drink is called, but the t-shirt. He could just had a t-shirt on and came out. He didn't have to have the big goofy bottle or whatever. The only celebrity that was noteworthy that was there, and I could be wrong, but this is the only one I recall reading, was Snoop Dogg. He was the only one there. I don't really count Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee at this point is a WWE star, so he's not really a outside celebrity. But Snoop Dogg, to his credit, did a good job. He did a really good job. Everything he did.
I heard he saved that segment.
He did. Go ahead, Omar.
Rest in peace to Shane's quads.
Shane McMahon?
Yeah, rest in peace to his quads.
Why are you saying that?
Because he tore that. The reason why I got to carry that match because Shane tore one of those.
Both of them?
I think he. I don't know. I just know I just heard he tore quads.
Wait, Shane McMahon?
Yeah, when he came to the match, he was on finna fight the Miz. So I guess he jumped up and then tore. I don't know.
Oh, you mean a couple years ago when they fought?
No, this was last night.
Wait, hold on. I didn't know Shane was there. Wait a minute. Shane McMahon was on WrestleMania yesterday?
Mm-hmm. There's some videos of it. People been clowning Shane all day.
Really? Mm-hmm. This shows you how much I've been paying. I didn't even see. Jason, did you see any of that? I didn't see any of that. Jason?
That's why Snoop Dogg had to carry the segment.
Yo,
I did not know. I didn't know Shane was there. Did you see Shane McMahon at WrestleMania?
Yo, what's up?
Yeah, Jay. Did you see Shane McMahon at WrestleMania?
I heard about it. I saw it on the timeline yesterday. I didn't know.
Oh, really? I didn't. Man, I'm slow today. I didn't see any of that. Yeah, a clip of. Okay, that's why Snoop Dogg. Oh, interesting. Okay, good for Snoop Dogg. You know what? It's nice having Shane back in the fold because I consider Shane like the last intelligent McMahon because Linda doesn't count because she's been well removed from wrestling for a long time. But we were just talking about how intelligent she was.
I don't blame her.
Why you say you don't blame her? Just because of the madness and everything that comes with it?
Just the madness, and not only that, but she knows it's a dying business. I think a lot of people know.
Right. Can you believe wrestling's been on life support for over 20 years? That's crazy to even conceive, but it has. What's that?
Exactly.
Jason? Yeah.
It's
been on life support. Yeah.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, like I don't know if you want to say I kind of been in retirement from wrestling for years. I just come out of retirement maybe like once or twice a year to watch the big events.
Sure.
And I thought about it last night, but I just decided to skip it.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what's funny?
Yeah.
And I agree. I'm kind of the same with the only way you can manage wrestling now is doing exactly what you're doing, where you just take big breaks from it. Like if I wasn't like really kind of keen into like the business side of stuff and numbers and reading all that so I can report things, I wouldn't even watch it. But most of the time, I don't even watch Raw. Anything you ever see me tweet about Raw, I read or I did my research, or some of the people that I have that's inside, they tell me or whatever, because I have a couple inside people, but and they even know that it's done. Like it was no doubt that Vince McMahon was going to be back running WWE. Everybody knew that. Stephanie knew it. She just was trying to keep good face about it and all that because she wanted to rah-rah with Triple H. She knew Vince was coming back. It was no doubt that Vince was coming back. Everybody knew that. Jay, did you get a chance to watch the Endeavor sit-down interview with Vince and that guy on CNBC? Did you see that? I hear a bunch. What's that?
Yeah, a little bit clip. Like,
you saw a clip
the gist of it? Like, I didn't see the whole thing.
Okay.
Said, what was the gist?
Oh, the gist of it. Basically, it's all but confirmed. The sale, everything will be transferred over. They said like May, June, they'll transfer everything over. But it's official. The WWE and UFC are under the same umbrella now. They both owned by the Middle East company Endeavor. So that's kind of where it's going. Vince basically was saying he wanted to sell it. So you could tell he was really trying not to say he wanted to preserve the legacy of the company and it was going backwards. But you could look in his face and tell that's what he meant. Like he was like, I can't be around another 10 years running this company. This is a good deal. I trust it in the hands of Endeavor because he knows Triple H and his cronies don't have what it takes to run that company. He knows that. Like everybody thinks, and I tweeted this out earlier. Everybody thinks that Triple H did not get a fair shot running that company. And me and Omari a few days ago on the last podcast we did, we're talking about how Triple H, Omari was like, I didn't even think about this. Triple H has been groomed to run WWE since 2011. This is not the first time. He got NXT from Dusty Rhodes in 2014, and he started to make it worse because Dusty was doing pretty good. He was using it it was kind of like a almost like a televised OVW, where he was taking guys that whatever reason WWE made up their head that they weren't ready for a singles push and kind of grooming them down there to send them back to TV. And then he was simultaneously building up newer guys because Shad Gaspar was, if backstage, they didn't like him, which is one of the silliest things I've heard in my life. They didn't like Shad Gaspar because he brought cute white women backstage. They said a lot of those old corporate white dudes didn't like that. And B, he was very outspoken. Like he wasn't going to be disrespected because he knew how talented he was. But he was due when he turned on JTD in 2009. He was due for a singles run. He was going to be the top heel on SmackDown. He proved it. He had the paperwork. I've heard him talk about it several times on interviews. And Dusty was really helping out. Dusty liked him a lot. Roman Reigns, a very young Roman Reigns, when he was Leaki, when they had him with the goofy ass grass Tarzan skirt and shit on, he was down there with Dusty. So Triple H took over that version at the time was called Florida Championship Wrestling. He took that over from Dusty. So Triple H has had over 10 years to prove that he can do this. He proved that he's not capable and up for the task. What more do y'all want Vince to do? Is he supposed to let his company go out of business? Like Vince wanted to sell WWE like 2 years ago. It's just the economy was shut down, so he couldn't find anybody to buy it. But he been wanted to get rid of WWE. Kind of when Peacock acquired the right. I think originally they wanted to give it to NBC just because Vince has such a well-developed relationship with Dick Ebersol, the guy that started Saturday nights. What's that thing called? Saturday Night Live. He started that. So I think he's been trying to wash his hands with it for a little while. Omari, was there anything? Go ahead, Jason. I'm sorry. I think you're. Oh yeah, Omari. Is there anything you want to add to that?
To that Triple H shit
about how people just think that he didn't have a chance to like do anything with whatever his vision was.
That's a fucking lie. Get the fuck out of here. He's been had his vision for years.
I got a theory on that actually.
He's been vision for Raw and SmackDown. How many what? Let's take a stroll down memory lane. CM Punk, the pipe bomb. He beats guys like Cena, guys like Orton. Why is guys like that? You telling me Batista can't beat these guys, but this little midget can? This out of shape midget can? Seth Rollins, and then you get Daniel Bryan, and then you get the floodgates, the women's revolution, feminism, getting shut out. What do you mean?
A lot of people think that they think Vince is shouldered his way in and loses money. All the same old dribble people always send online. I want what's that theory that you have, Jason? I'm very curious to hear the theory because I might agree with you, probably.
Okay, because when Vince went out last year, I think
Yes.
that he let himself leave so that he can see how Triple H does and takes care of business. That if he can prove himself, and
Sure.
Vince was kind of testing him in a way, and he seen that Triple H was failing, so he decided to come back. Because look at the ratings.
Yep. You're right. The ratings have like this. Just for example, this is a small comparison. This week, the Monday before WrestleMania, the same time last year, Vince had 136,000 more viewers. So all these people that were parading and doing backflips and twerking and all this that Vince was leaving and he was gone and all that, they're doing worse. Now, that's not a large number. That's probably only realistically like 1% difference. But still, it shows that Triple H's vision is not that much greater than Vince's. Vince, of course, he's aged. All his ideas aren't great. I don't like the idea of all things being filtered through one person. That's never a good idea. For example, you get stuff like Dame Dash, who I respect a lot of what Dame Dash does, but he kills a lot of his projects because he don't know how to loosen the grip. He doesn't know how to let other people come in. He doesn't know how to delegate authority to more experienced people. He has to have such a grip on everything. And that's going to ruin your quality after a while. You have to have fresh eyeballs. You have to take breaks. You have to know when to, okay, let me tag you in. So that part of Vince, I don't like the control freak. Like they can't say, can you believe the band, really both of y'all, Omari and Jason, can you believe it's a banned list of words that WWE don't allow the commentators to say? That is the most absurd thing I ever heard in my life. Like Vince is off the whippets or something. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
When I was growing up in the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression Era, like none of those banned words were really around. This didn't really start popping up until the PG era came about.
Right. The only one I think that kind of probably was local medical facility. That bullshit. But I agree with you. The other ones were not around. You could still say belt and stuff like that.
And wrestler and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. I'm the man. Damn it, pal.
God damn. Like the fact that he be screaming at people for sneezing and stuff. Like that's the absurd part of Vince that needs checks and balances. And this is when you need a good wife a lot of the times to balance a good business part like a Nick Khan or somebody else. Because Bruce Pritchard, don't get me wrong, I admire somebody's loyalty to a good friend like Pritchard has been to Vince. However, boy, is he a kiss ass. He never tells Vince that some of his ideas might be stupid, like this Firefly Funhouse stuff. Did you really expect Bray Wyatt to get over with the Firefly Funhouse, especially with WWE writers? Now, I'm not saying PG stuff is always inherently bad and destined to fail. That's clearly not the case. However, WWE writers are awful. I still don't understand the significance of why any of those puppets, why one was like a crow or vulture, why one was a pig. What was the other one? I forgot those puppets. It was like 3 or 4 of them. I don't understand any of that. A witch. She was the only one that looked kind of cool that actually that matched the Bray Wyatt persona was the witch girl. You're right. She kind of looked like a doll or something from, what was that movie? Dead Silence. That was a pretty good horror movie. It was slow, but it was pretty good. Like, I don't know. Other than the Swamp character, none of his characters have been clear, which shows you a lot of this stuff was Bray Wyatt jotting down ideas while he was on the toilet. And then they put it on. He pitched it and they put it on TV. That's essentially what this stuff was. It was no clear thing. And the unfortunate part, I don't know how you are. Well, no, me and Jay are the same age. When we were younger, people, even back in, I would say the 80s is a better example of this. When we weren't born, but we saw a lot of the 80s wrestling, especially me because I watched a lot of Savage and Piper, who's 2 of my favorite wrestlers. But everybody back then had a character that was clearly identifiable, and then a lot of the time it was based off stuff that they did in real life. Like, for example, Big Boss Man. Big Boss Man was a correctional officer for real. So WWE was like, how about we make this edgy character, since Cops is so good in the 90s? How about we make him an abusive cop? That was his character. They're clearly identifiable. He can get heat. People know what it is. Excuse me. And another plus with that character is it could be heel or babyface too. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, see, that's actually what I miss about wrestling right there is, when you had people who had an identifiable character, they could further get over because they were identifiable. You can define them basically.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That's
nowadays you can't define them. Like, what is Seth Rollins?
Right.
What is Becky Lynch? How do you identify them? What's so special about them? What makes them unique?
Right.
Now that you said that, TJ, I was gonna say that's another thing. You know how cops? You said Big Boss Man played a cops game because cops was big in the '90s. That's another thing that they refuse to do. Not just WWE, but AEW as a whole. They refuse to look at culture. Look at culture right now. You have people fighting in the streets. You have the Republicans versus the Democrats. You have people. You have wives cheating on their husbands. Put that shit on TV.
Right.
Put that on TV. What are you doing? Nobody wants to see this fake garbage every week.
Right.
This is what made the Attitude Era great. Is that they copied off what was popular in culture at the time. They need to do the same thing now. Yeah, I know pop culture is good nowadays, but look what's happening in the world. Essentially, it's the Jerry Springer episode on crack right now. Essentially, it's what it is. You have wives, you have boyfriends cheating on their girlfriends. You have Democrats versus the Republicans. You have baby mama dramas. Put that on TV.
I think a lot of what WWE forgets to do is and I hate this, they're so insular focused. The problem is they don't take advantage of mainstream stuff and put it. Not let's say, because I agree with Omari. Pop culture is not great like it was in the 90s, early 2000s, 80s, even like the 70s and shit. Superfly was cool, but
it's not good like the 2010, like early 2010.
Right? Yeah, even in 2010, you're right about that, because I think culture started to take a nosedive like right before, like in Obama's second thing, and it's his administration is a large part of it. But
I say when Trump got elected, that's when it kicked up.
Yeah,
it did. Yeah, you can say that it definitely it peaked at the when Trump. But they don't take, like Miro, for example, who's being grossly misused in AEW. He's refusing to come to TV. I honestly think Miro, aka Rusev, is having buyer's remorse even going to WWE to begin with. He probably misses his wife. He probably missed working with his wife, even though he see her when he goes home. As far as a partnership in business, he probably misses his wife. And he realized that AEW is not the green grass. He just needed a break from WWE. What he should have did was like, you know what, Vince, give me a break. Give me 6 months off. Let me recharge and I'll come back. Because AEW doesn't know how to use a guy like Miro. They have this idea that everybody needs to be even, and then everybody, and I know WWE has a level of 50-50 booking too. However, like have you noticed it hasn't been a dominant champion in AEW yet? They've had about 4. None of them have been dominant champions. That's how you know they have no concept of actual professional wrestling. They don't know how to put heat on nobody. They don't know how to like put momentum. You can say whatever you want about Roman Reigns, and WWE had the multiple failed tries, and he should have been healed a long time ago. And I'm willing to agree with a lot of what you said. However, they got it right this time. It is so many nerds online breaking TVs, heads exploding because Cody Rhodes lost. Let me explain something to you goddamn marks from a person that actually trained in pro wrestling, who grew up in this business, who understands it from a lot of different angles, podcasts, having actual friends, read several books. I've been in a ring before. What you don't understand about wrestling is you have to give people a reason to care about you. Cody Rhodes came out at the Royal Rumble, and it was probably a last minute. Oh, he's from Texas. Dusty was from Texas. How about we have him win? Good. Like, it was that stupid. No thought went into it. Cody just come out and win, and we're supposed to believe in the middle of this hot, like undefeated streak of Roman Reigns. Fucking Cody Rhodes is supposed to beat him. Are you kidding me, dude? Jason, when I saw Roman Reigns have to sell Cody Rhodes' finishing move, I was so upset, and I was like, I'm glad I didn't watch WrestleMania. Reigns actually had to sell that shit. That spinning, weird-looking neckbreaker finish he does. Like, this is what wrestling is now. Like, it's no sense of character. It's no sense of pacing. It's no sense of logic. Like, people just do stuff to be doing it. Like, nobody says, hey, don't do the super kick. The guy in the third match is doing it as a finish. Nobody thinks like that. That's called psychology and structure in a match.
That actually reminds me, you had from what I heard, you had over 20 super kicks with the Usos and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in that match. And I'm like, man, that's way too much.
It's overkill.
Exactly.
Like, it's a reason that superheroes are cool, because Batman is not like Superman. Superman is not like Iron Man. Iron Man is not like Captain America. Hulk is not like Thor. Thor is not like, whoever else. Like, Spider-Man is completely different from, Hawk guy or whatever. Like, everybody has a different character. You think the Avengers would be cool if everybody was Iron Man? That'll get fucking old after a while. Like, everybody can't be a overly cocky, foul-mouthed billionaire. Like, it takes away from Captain America. Wouldn't be humble if he wasn't put next to Iron Man. They two diametrically opposed people. That's why they got different reactions from people. But they were both kind of honorable, but they had different personality traits. But they don't get any of this. Like WWE's idea of a superhero is Johnny Gargano coming out with dollar store underwear, and he's supposed to be tough and beat every. Come on, man! It's children that can beat up Johnny Gargano. Literally, my other friend Jason's son is bigger than him. Literally, and Abner's like 11 or something like that, and he's bigger than him. It's absolutely ridiculous, dude.
16, 7 girls at my trade school is bigger than Johnny Gargano. I swear to God. Like,
I believe you.
Go to a football game. These 16-year-olds, they built.
It's 16-year-olds now like 6'11", 6'9", which is ridiculous, but they're big like that. 6'4". I'm sorry, go ahead, Jason.
I was just gonna say, I can't believe they're still pushing guys like him, because none of them are like draws, like you look at them, they look like they look like they work at Walmart or something.
Right. Like Omar, Jason, I think where are you? I'm sorry, go ahead, finish what you're saying.
Oh no, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, not to be true, but like, what are you from? Are you from California or something? You sound like you're from the West Coast. Texas. Okay, cool. And I'm moving to Texas too soon, by the way. Can you imagine somebody like Johnny Gargano walking up to you trying to be tough? And I don't know how big you are, but would you take him serious?
Nah.
If he came up, hey, get out of line. I was right here. You'll look at him. How tall are you, Jason?
About 5'10".
Are you over 200 pounds? Because I am. I'm 215.
Close.
Johnny Gargano, I don't care what WWE, Wikipedia, none of that says. That guy is probably 135 pounds. He's 5'7", which I'm short, but I'm 215. He's probably 5'6", 135 at the most.
You remember when they tried billing Adam Cole as 6 feet?
Yeah. When he's really probably like 5'6". You know what I mean?
And then not only that, but I think they tried billing him like a 190
or something. Like yeah.
He's like 150 soaking wet.
Yeah, easily 150 soaking wet. Like, and don't get me wrong, Adam Cole at least can talk, but he has no business having a world's title. No business at all. He could be a manager. He could maybe be like an upper intercontinental title guy, but a world title, give me a break. And he was world champion at AEW. Oh, not AEW, but the NXT for quite a while. Like when Velveteen Dream is more masculine than you, something's wrong. And we already saw what happened with that guy. But when he's more masculine and intimidating you, something's wrong.
I got a question.
What's that?
Speaking of, I don't know if y'all, I know Jason's seen this, but what's your thoughts on our boy Destructor here? He said something that he shouldn't have said. That shit was fucked up. I don't like Cody Rhodes, but man, that dude went way too.
You talking about Canadian Destructor?
Yeah,
PWRP.
Destructor.
Okay. PW. What did he say?
So I guess last night, Jason will probably say it better than I can because I really didn't read the tweet. I read some of it and I said what I had to say. But essentially, he said something like he's glad Cody Rhodes is something up there with Dusty Rhodes, accentuating that dying. It was fucked up.
Oh, yeah. Destructor at times could be a little crass. I know I'm an asshole from a lot of people's perspective that don't understand me. I just like things that make sense, and I hate when people lie about stupid shit. But especially when there's a conviction that they're lying about stupid shit. But I would never make fun. Like, don't get me wrong. I have a vitriolic hate towards Triple H for what he's done to so many people. And a lot of them I know personally. And also just the type of executive. I have a very, vitriolic dislike of him. I'm not going to, but if something happens to him, I'm not going to go around. He has children. I'm not going to, bro, yeah, Triple H is down. I'm not going to do that. But Destructor at times doesn't have a filter. It's something, I don't know what it is. I'm not Canadian, so I don't know what Canadian people deal with. But yeah, sometimes he's a bit crass.
I actually wanted to talk about that too.
I don't think that's crass. That's just that's not big crass. That's something that honestly, if he was kind of serious, he honestly would have ended up in the men's hospital. I'm just saying that if this country was taken more serious, he would have ended up in the mental hospital for that. Someone he could have got him. He can get in serious trouble for that. I don't know in Canada, but if he was staying in the United States, he probably could get in some trouble for that. I don't wish that.
I mean, he definitely, at the very least, he would have got kicked off social media. I don't know about anything beyond that point, but he definitely would have got his social media taken down. I'm sorry, Jason,
I'm actually surprised he hasn't yet, though.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised. Destructor's kind of, you know what? He fits perfectly in with I almost said his real name. I'm glad I didn't. NC and JC. he fits in good with those TWRP guys because they're like that. They're very South Park like, where South Park humor is kind of crass. They fit perfectly. And Destructor, Destroyer, and I don't know if y'all know DST show. They all used to get on my show, but I had to all tell them like, dude, I love y'all dudes, but like I got like a business, like I can't, you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, my show is only big enough for one offense. If my show's gonna get canceled, I'm gonna be the reason for it. Nobody else. Like that's just because I have a lot at stake with what I'm doing. Like I put a lot of time and stuff, and people reputations online. I know some people that work for WWE that don't want their reputation tarnished. But don't get me wrong. At times they accept when I'm doing it, but those dudes go a little too far. They get into like kind of the government conspiracy stuff and esoteric stuff and say I'm not into all that. That's not my thing. Don't get me wrong. I like those dudes and they got their right to do that, but not on my show. I'm not into that stuff. You know what I mean? But I'm not too surprised with Destructor. That's just how they are. That's the community that he's associated.
I really don't care what he says, but when he's talking about death, that's when I gotta jump in and say, hey man, you gotta slow. You need to calm down.
Yeah. And then I don't think he means that. It's just that's just kind of him. You know what I mean? Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jason.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was just saying that's kind of why I've been neutral on him for a long time. Like, just he tries so hard to be edgy, and it's kind of cringe to me. Like, dude, you gotta slow your roll sometimes. You
talking about Destructor or Cody Rhodes?
No, Destructor.
Oh yeah, Destructor. And then keep in mind, y'all, Omari, like I said, you're one of the maturest 18-year-old people I know. But Destructor is in his 20s. He's still very young. Destructor's like 22 or something, 23. He has a lot of learning and a lot of life to live. So I think when he gets me and Jason are in our early 30s. So we've been there, done that. We've had our moments. We probably flipped out about stuff, but been there, done that. A lot more refined. It comes with age. You chill out on a lot of stuff. He's very young, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. But if he's like that in his 30s, that's just his personality. And you at that point, you just could choose just not to be associated with him. You know what I mean? But I don't know him as well as others, but I've seen stuff that he's done, like little things he's flipped out and stuff like that. But a lot of those guys at the time, like, dude, I'm not into that. I know that's y'all lane and all that, but I'm not into conspiracy theories and you're playing a dangerous game with the government anyway when you play like that. So you better be willing to deal with some consequences when you have those type of conversations. It's consequences that come with that stuff.
So I was telling down. It's like, dude, I know you don't like Cody. I don't like him either. Honestly, I don't care for Cody or Roman, to be honest with you. But hey, man.
Right.
Sometimes you need to.
Oh yeah, CJ.
Yo,
who's older, me or you?
I think I'm older than you by like maybe a season. My birthday's July 1st. Your birthday's in October, right? 11th or something.
Yeah.
I thought so. Yeah, I'm only about 3 months older than you, but you're probably wiser than me though. I'm sure you're a lot wiser than I am. Yeah, Libra people are good people. Libras are good people.
I kind of that explains Destructor's a little immature because, like, I noticed that he'll say things and he's got no filter, and I'm like, there's nobody to really keep him in. The young guy, he doesn't realize there's consequences to the stuff you say,
Yeah, and I would imagine he might live alone. It seems like he lives alone. That's the vibe I get from him. So he's probably not with his parents or nothing like that. Either maybe they died or he just didn't have a good relationship with him. But you could tell he probably either lives alone or he has a roommate because you could tell he has a lot of. He's not very the way he types and things like that. You can tell like that's his own doing. Now I'm grown, so I'm willing to. Destructor's grown too, but I'm grown. I'm in my 30s, so like I've been out of my parents' house forever ago. You know what I mean? They can't dictate anything I do. You know what I mean? So what I do, I have to take responsibility. Him, on the other hand, he's still kind of young at the age where kind of his parents can still be somewhat like, this is your kid. Like people look at it like that. When you're 30, you can't tell people what to do. When somebody's 30, but when they're early 20s, they're still just becoming an adult. Like so, you know what I mean? You still have a reputation opposed to. Like some people still are claimed on tax files and stuff by their parents until they're like 24 or 26 or some shit like that.
And take from experience too. Your 20s goes by real quick. Me and you both know this.
Yes, it does. I wish I had it back sometimes. You know what I mean? In some veins I do, some ways I don't. Don't get me wrong. Like the wisdom I have in my 30s, I really appreciate. But I wish I had more. Like I will be more successful goal wise because I grew up. I mean, you're Hispanic. Are you Mexican, Jason? You sound like you're Mexican.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then Omari's black like me. So, like, we all know what it's like to be a minority in the United States. It's not easy, So it's things that we didn't have in our 20s that we had to fight for that other people had. And it's not their fault. It's just circumstance. That's just the way it was. But So yeah, I wish at times I had my 20s back. Like I wish I had my mind now. I probably would have been a much better wrestler in my 20s. Now I would have retired by now because Triple H would have took over, and I couldn't bear working in a company that Triple H runs. I would have left. I would have. Yep, I'm taking early retirement. That would have been that. But at time, yeah, 20s go by quick, just like Jason said. You have to really value your 20s. But I don't know Destructor well, so I can't speak on him or speak about him, conclusively because I don't know him like that. But I have seen. I know that's kind of the lane that he's in. They chose to be in kind of that conspiracy truther. I think a lot of them are like extreme Christians too. So it's one thing to be a Christian. It's another thing to be an extreme Christian. Those are two different things. Because obviously Jason is a Christian, but TWRP and all of them, they seem like they're more like radical Christians or whatever. But anyway,
well, I'm not even like. I mean, they say they are, and I kind of respect them too. But they've said some things that kind of made me question. Like I remember, like on a TWRP stream, they were saying that the universe is their God, and I'm like, no, that ain't how it works, bro.
Right. That sounds like you probably would be more spiritual if that's the case. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's religious.
Exactly. Because to me, there's only one God, and that's Jehovah.
Right. Yeah. Interesting stuff, man. I feel like at times people use their Christianity kind of in a smug way. I'm not saying it's like, I'm not talking about a particular person, and I'm not talking about TWRP. I just mean in general. Like, and it's kind of pushed me away from religious people because it's like this kind of this hypocritical, holier than thou thing that people have going on, where they kind of use it like, oh, I'm better than you. And I'm like, nah, no, you're not. You know what I mean? We're all judged by the same, only one person can judge that, and it's not human beings. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Exactly. And it's like with me, I wouldn't even consider like me religious. I'm just, I got faith, I'm a Christian,
Sure.
I keep it,
right.
But, yeah, like TWRP, I will give them this though. Like, they haven't gone as far as Destructor has. They got at least somewhat of a filter. I'll give them that,
Yeah, that's true. Especially in yeah.
Yeah, because when Triple H was going through, his issues or whatever, they said that, okay, they're not wishing anything bad upon them, upon him. I mean, him and his family, because they know what it is. But so they, as much as they, as much as they don't like him, they still show him to
some humility.
I guess some humility, yeah, exactly, and that's kind of why I'm like, okay, you know what, I got respect for these guys. But with Destructor,
and it's been times, Destructor is. I mean, to give him credit though, he's aptly named. He and like he lied to you. His name is Destructor. So that tell you, I mean, it's not like he's not trying to lie to you about it. I can give him that. At least that's his name. You know what I mean? But Destructor, Destroy. Those guys are young. You know what I mean? So I'm willing to get them a little more rope. DST and all them, they're young kids, man. They're like in their early 20s or something like that. Omari is just a very unique, and I should have been able to guess that Omari was from the South because he's very humble for an 18-year-old kid. That's why I was halfway thinking like he has to be from down south.
Well, also another reason why I'm like that is I also went through hard times.
You went through it, Are both of your parents still alive?
Well, first I'm gonna say this: if y'all see me tweet, if y'all see me raging on Twitter, you're probably gonna see me Twitter. But my parents are still alive. I was taken from my parents from at the age of 7. Me and my siblings got taken from my mom. DHS custody for the longest time. Got abused. The people I lived with got money for me, but they never would give me money. So I was elementary, middle school, right? You want to go to the skating ring with your friends,
right?
Snow cones and all that. She would get money from me, but she would never give me money for that. Like she would every now and then, but like other than that, I have to do something around the house, which I have a problem with, or I have to go out and mow the grass.
Right. She exploited you basically.
Yeah.
Right. No, I know that. I understand how that stuff works, man. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry that happened to you.
Oh, it's good for me because it's giving me, the life experience that I need, to get it and make it. Which is why I had some of these people online, Republicans, Democrats, wherever they are, that wants to preach about hard times, yet they never been through hard times. They want to preach to somebody like me. Oh, these youngest or these people haven't gone through hard times. Have you gone through hard times? It looks like you rich, got everything for your parents, but want to preach at hard times. Someone like me, who literally has hit rock bottom.
Right. But a lot of people like the virtue signal, and like I come from very similar experiences as you. I didn't have the best relationship with my parents, specifically my mom, Omari. So I've learned a lot of things. I've learned humility because I lived through it. I was in the streets when I was in my 20s, man. I was homeless for like 3 years. Yeah, it was my 20s were rough, man. But like I have willpower, like to bounce back from whatever I want to do. I have very strong willpower, man. And Chicago's a tough city, man. It's a tough city if you're not ready for it. What's that?
About the homeless part, like I would get like when I got older, she would kick me out, but I always had friends that would take me in, and she'll put me in mental hospitals, and for no reason, I was on ADHD medication because you know I used to get in trouble a lot, so it was a lot of that.
They was trying to knock the testosterone out of you, basically. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, and that's another thing. I love to talk about that in length. JC, you have kids? Do you have kids? Hello? You cut out for a minute.
Working on it.
Oh, not yet. Okay. Nor do I. But that's a large reason why I don't, because of I can hear you now. We had I think the internet just dropped for a minute, but we're good now though. Yeah. That's another issue, and then we'll get back on wrestling because we kind of veered off a little bit. That's another thing I'm fearful of, and I do this on my podcast. JoJo just joined us. My very esteemed MMA correspondent just joined us right here. That's like I'm suspicious of a lot of that stuff, man. They just don't want the males to be males and they don't want females to be. I got a problem with that. I won't want my kids to grow up with that type of stuff. To get back to
what I'm worried about, you know.
Yeah, I would imagine a lot of us or whatever with this. BX Connect, man. What's up, son?
What's up? What's happening? What's going on, y'all?
Yep, we got Omari and old school Jason here. Not our Jason, but another Jason.
Okay, what's happening?
Yeah, BX a good guy, man. He's been working with me for a long, long time now. Good guy. We have a Jason over here too. I don't know if you ever met our Jason, OSJ. He's fucking hilarious though. And his birthday. And when I inboxed you that time, I thought you was him, because if you know our Jason, he's a clown. That's some shit he would do. You know what I mean? He will make another account, and y'all birthdays are very close the same, and he's a Jehovah's Witness, so he's very much like you. So that's why I thought it was him under a different account. Come to find out, he's black and you're Mexican. So obviously, unless y'all got like some y'all can phase or some shit, y'all not the same person. But yeah, he's hilarious. I hope he gets on here tonight, because I got to get some shit to give him, because he was hating on John Jones winning the world's title, but that's a whole nother and then Comshot. JoJo, how applicable is it that Comshot is trending and Jason's not around? Like, you know what I mean? He hiding in that forest somewhere. He probably got a disguise, son. He got a wig on his head. Like, that man, he don't want none of them problems after he saw what was online with Comshot. But anyway, what's causing all this stuff, man? You see the news, WWE, and who would have thought, man, the world we live, WWE and UFC are under the same umbrella as of today. Going for it, they just got to make the paperwork official. It's all but done. Son, can you believe this, man? WWE and UFC gonna be under the same company.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. But you know, I've said it before, man. As much as people don't like it, and some people don't want to admit, mixed martial arts and pro wrestling walk hand in hand. The UFC and and pro wrestling, it walks hand in hand. We've seen it many, many years, you know. Yeah. A lot of these professional wrestlers go into mixed martial arts. The mixed martial artists have transcended themselves into pro wrestling. Yeah. It's a trade-off. So you know what I mean? And they're linked by one of the biggest names in wrestling, in Brock Lesnar. Yes. So it's kind of amazing to see that, you know. Yeah. We've had names before like Ken Shamrock and Dan Severn, but
with the sweaty gray shirt,
and you know, Matt Riddle, but it's mainly Brock Lesnar. So
Brock Lesnar,
that was my era right there. Shamrock. I said that was my era. You know, he was one of the first that I remember seeing when I was a kid. So,
like the early '90s, back when they had the Gracies and all that,
back when Dangerous Man,
Oh, absolutely. Shamrock, man, and he had the personality built for wrestling. If he would have got that fighter bug out of his system a little earlier, I think Shamrock would have been Austin would have had a hell of a opponent to go against. Can you imagine Shamrock and Austin in a serious program? That would have been fire, dude. But Shamrock had to get that fight bug out of his system, man. He wanted to fight again. He felt like he had something to prove, which I could respect it.
That was actually one of the first matches I remember seeing, back then, Austin versus Shamrock. I think this was in, I want to say October 98, September, somewhere around there.
Maybe a year before. I think Shamrock was going about 99 when Shamrock left in what, 98?
99.
Yeah,
he left in 99? Yeah. Oh, really? Wow, okay. Yeah, but I wish it was more of a serious program. It was kind of like just a transitional thing. If they would have had like a Rock Austin saga, that would have been great. Like when they fought every 2 or 3 years, that would have been great if they would have did something like that. But yeah, man, what a time to be alive. Vince McMahon in the video, JoJo son, he's got the mustache, son. He got the Gomez Adams mustache, son.
Yeah, he's dyed his hair and he got the mustache going. And people thought he was crazy.
Old boy looking like Gomez.
Yeah, people thought he was crazy because. He had a habit of shaving his mustache. He shaves his facial hair. He don't facial hair.
He's God damn it, I can't let it beat me. It's competitive. That's what he used to say.
I was gonna say this though. Can we agree that the Mega Powers is part of the longest term storytelling right now? Because WWE and the UFC is like Macho Man and Hogan teaming up in the 80s. The Mega Powers explodes.
Sure.
Yeah, you can say that. Two of the biggest promotions in North America.
Yeah.
Together, yeah.
It's wild. This is likened to
because sports fans try to pretend like wrestling is not significant. First of all, cable wouldn't be as expansive as it was without wrestling. Even baseball couldn't expand cable like wrestling did. If it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, Vince McMahon, and NBC, cable wouldn't be a big deal. Thank God Ted Turner gave wrestling an opportunity because that's what made cable popular to begin with.
Yeah.
And everything else fell behind that. So give wrestling its flowers. I hate when people do that. And the second thing is, this is similar to when the NBA ABA merged and when the NFL AFL. It's the same thing. It's two big industries and aptly named endeavors merging together. And this is going to be money. The only people are not going to see this as money is the nerds online. But they don't think with logic, period. So they don't matter.
Yeah, they've been seeing wine on
the They don't matter.
Right. Yeah. They don't get it either.
Yeah.
You have some of the biggest names in mixed martial arts and some of the biggest names in pro wrestling managed by the same entity in WME IMG, aka Endeavor.
Yep.
Yeah. They have the biggest names. They manage Ronda Rousey, The Rock, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair. In MMA, well, you said Ronda Rousey. They have some hindsights with Conor McGregor and a couple other names under there.
Weren't they really specifically Nick Khan very instrumental in getting Logan Paul to sign the WWE? Because Logan Paul's with them too, isn't he? Or
yeah.
They
signed Logan Paul in there. And Endeavor itself is mainly a movie and entertainment entity. William Morris Endeavor and the IMG folks.
That's basically an acting talent agency, which is what Nick Khan was doing before he got to WWE. That's what he was known for. Whatever. So I'm not surprised. Me and JoJo, y'all have to understand, me and JoJo are probably two of the most intelligent analysts on the internet. We just don't get credit for it. We've been telling y'all this for 2 or 3 years that this not JoJo. Remember when we were talking about this back on Haps 2 or 3 years ago when we said this might happen?
Yeah.
We've been talking about this for years, y'all. When are y'all going to figure out that we actually know what we're talking about? We've been saying this for a long, long time. Omari, people like Jason, we've been around wrestling a long time. We know how this stuff works. WWE was never going to be a SJW niche company. Not while Vince McMahon is breathing. That's not going to happen.
I've been watching professional wrestling since I was 3 years old in the late 2000s.
Oh, Jason Foreman.
I've been watching I was going to say this, though. Imagine Conor McGregor versus The Rock or Conor McGregor versus John Cena in a promo battle. Those would be fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jason said he had to roll, but he'll be back with us tomorrow. Thank you, Jason. I just privately texted him. But yeah, I agree with what you just said, Omar. I was kind of listening as you're talking. But yeah, I agree. I would love these things. Now we can probably get Conor Mysterio, which I want to see for a long time, because I don't think Rey Mysterio is retiring. I don't think he is. A lot of people are going to boo, oh, he went in the Hall of Fame. We already know that with the exception of Shawn Michaels, who stays retired? Everybody comes in. Ric Flair he's the only one that didn't want to retire. Ric Flair was mad when he had to retire. You know what I mean? He was like, what? I'm not retired. I want to die in the ring. I'll never retire. You know, he had all that going on. But more times than not, people don't retire. So Ray is going to be done basically if he gets an injury or, you know, when he gets like 80, then he might stop wrestling because he's still in good shape. Why would he stop wrestling? He's still in great shape. If Sting can wrestle to 65, Rey Mysterio's not even 50 yet. Why would he retire?
Yeah, well, I think it's time for
Sting, probably, yeah. Sting, I mean, but I don't want Sting to leave wrestling. It's time for him to get out of the ring, maybe. But Sting is still very, very beneficial to a lot of young people.
Yeah, he's very knowledgeable, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you need Sting around, man. You have to have Sting around.
Yeah, but Tony Khan is retarded. He doesn't know how to use people right. Like I said this last stream, you know, how he had money on the table with the whole Sammy Guevara Tay Conte, you know, scandal that happened, like a year ago? That should have been his generation's edge. That should have been his edge and leader, but he's a retard. I don't trust him. He's stupid. When there's money on the table and he doesn't do it. There could be gold sitting in front of him and he refused to take it.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? To piggyback on what you said, now I want to get a JoJo's opinion because he probably know a hell of a lot more than me. The AEW new TV show. Did you see those atrocious numbers that they did? That Saturday, whatever, I forget what the fuck it was called, but that little new thing they got going on.
Yeah, the backstage show thing that they do now.
If being the elite didn't work out, what makes you think this crap was gonna work? This is like when WWE was foolish enough to have a show called Saturday Morning Slam where it was no headshots. What the fuck were y'all thinking about? Wrestling's an action show. Well, and I get it's supposed to be catered towards kids, but you was better off making a comic book type thing and give that to the kids. You're going to have a live action wrestling show with no drop kick. You think anybody's going to take that? And at the time when everybody was doing a super kick, why they chose the wrong time? They should have did that shit back like when Hogan was wrestling.
Don't give Vince
made way more sense back then.
Don't give Vince any ideas. He probably thinking it. Why don't we have John Cena be Superman, pal? That kids would love it.
It probably like it's gonna be. I got a feeling it's gonna be a hologram match at some point. It's gonna be people. If Saudi Arabia got something to say about it, the United Arab Emirates, we're gonna get Yokozuna versus Macho Man in a hologram. It's gonna happen. Like they got something to say about it. You're gonna see a hologram bonsai drop. You're gonna have Macho Man. Oh yeah, from the depths of heaven. He's gonna come down with the elbow. But yeah, this is good for all.
And Macho back from the dead, pal. So
yeah, it's good shit.
The AEW backstage show. That show is stupid. It's supposed to try to be like, you know,
behind the curtain type shit.
Yeah, some behind the curtain type shit. A little bit like Total Divas almost like, but it don't make sense. It don't make sense. It's a lot of focus, and they're only gonna show you like the shit that they want you to see.
It's too controlled.
And Tony makes it too scripted.
Yeah.
That's the problem because he's going to make it too scripted and focus on the main talent.
He's a retard. He's special needs.
And it's so, yeah.
He's at the point. I don't know. He's just stupid. Like I said, there could be money on the table. At least with Triple H, sometimes when there's money on the table, he takes it. Tony Khan doesn't. Like I said, Tay Conte, similar. What's the name?
Sammy Guevara,
yeah. Like you know how like look at the drama that was happening around them where Tay Conte was getting called a home run, all of that.
Right.
Like, that should have been their edge and leader.
Real quick, Victor is putting funny ass comments that I got to read that I'm passing back.
What's good, Victor?
He said the coke did too much damage to cokehead Tony Khan's fucking head. Oh my god, you're right about that, Victor. Like Tony Khan is on that shit, man.
I don't like man.
He on that pass of crack, mixed with some weed. He to stay off that. That weed ain't good for him.
Yeah, she gave him that dry. Big Swole gave him that dry that shit that's been sitting in the sun all day. She gave him that bullshit. She gave him some real weed. What are you saying, son, about that show though? About that show? Yeah.
Getting that weed from Big Worm on Friday.
Exactly.
He getting his weed from Big Worm.
All right. It's just that the show is stupid. The show is just really stupid. It's like hella scripted. And it's bad because now we know how Tony Khan operates with his talent. Then you know this shit is only just fixated to show the positives, just period. Right. And none of the negatives really.
Yeah.
Unless it was caught on camera.
Right.
There's no real No, there's none of that shit. That's all it is, because now you know that this guy, he does this shit. He got his wrestlers signing NDAs when they leave. They got other shit in the yo, this shit is crazy. So it's like, yo, what the hell are we really believing from this guy?
Right.
If we know all the backstage problems that's going on, it's reported, and you see what's happening, and people disgruntled. Why the fuck would then you have a show and you trying to cover up that you know everything is fine and then hey, get the fuck out of here? I don't want to see this shit.
Right. It's just like, don't y'all have enough like talent y'all can't use? Y'all don't even have like space for them. Like, what are you going to do with this dumb show? Like, come on, like, get out of here with that. Like, it's enough wrestling on TV as it is. Like, people don't even watch Rampage. What makes you think they're gonna watch this shit? Like,
for real.
He loves wasting money. I told you, Tony, give me that money and I'll spend it better than you. Like, me, JoJo, and Jason can actually make a watchable TV company. Unlike your bullshit. They pretty soon he's gonna try to make ROH be his own library or something stupid like that, probably. Like, what you need to be doing, Tony Khan, is buying Impact and spreading your roster out. That's what you need to do. Buy Impact and let some of those wrestlers go over there. If you want to actually buy another talent, because at least Impact already got the rings and all that shit set up already. Like, all you got to do is just pretty much buy the contracts. That's what you need to do. We take advantage of that deal with Anthem. They got money. That's what a smart person would do, you know. But we already know he's not fucking smart, so he's not going to do it. But they do.
Eric Bishop, but somehow dumber, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, he's like SJW Nervous Bischoff. Like, Bischoff was just like,
oh shit,
everybody's friend. You know what I mean? Like, he's at that mark at the he's liking him to like a principal that hang out with the fraternity. That's what Bischoff was. Whereas Tony Khan is the bitch ass substitute teacher that don't nobody take serious. Like, third graders do this nigga.
Principal,
that's what Tony Khan is. He the scared ass school substitute teacher.
That's accurate. That's accurate. That's really accurate.
How I see it is Eric Bischoff is like the principal. You know, y'all seen Saved by the Bell. You know, the principal. He was always hanging out with Kelly, with Zach and Kelly. You know. Yeah. You know, that's Eric Bischoff in my opinion. Then you got Tony Khan. It's like he's like the teacher that nobody likes.
he Mr. Van Driesen from Beavis and Butthead. Like, he the mark of the jokes all the time. That's Mr. Van Driesen. You know what I mean? What's that?
I was gonna say, it's like you don't care for him, but you know if you're on this good side, you're gonna get some special privileges and shit like that.
Right. Like, even the Young Bucks. Did y'all? Well, I think I told JoJo this before, but I don't know if Omari knows this. The Young Bucks said when they first met him, and think about it, this is the cuck ass Young Bucks. They from Rancho Cucamonga. Like, come on. Like, the Young Bucks said when they first saw him, they thought he was a nerd loser until he said he had a yacht and a lot of money. Then they was his friend. The Young Bucks used this motherfucker. That shows you the tool that he is. You got used by a bunch of losers like the Young Bucks. They played you. Like, Tony Khan he didn't get mad when somebody say something to him and argue with fans online. Dude, you're an idiot, and people are going to call you an idiot. Why are you getting upset? Stop doing dumb stuff. Like, what is so hard to come? You got the girl from TikTok, and come on, man. And I wasn't as mad about that. If that little girl got enough talent where she can get on TV, good for her. Because this is one thing I will say about AEW, a positive about this. AEW has way more stars on TV than WWE. They done had Rick Ross, Kevin Gates, who got Snoop Dogg doing bad frog splashes. Everybody, they didn't have goddamn dignitaries, like everybody. The Dalai Lama that been over there. They didn't have everybody over there. WWE barely can get like D-list celebrities over there. They can't even get Paul Rubin to come over there. Like, come on, you know what I mean? They gonna have Kanye West over at AEW soon. This is the worst but best company I ever seen ever. You can't tell me
that AEW's too SW for Kanye West. So I don't know about that.
I don't know. They got Rose to come over there some type of way. Tony Khan gave him some of that weed. He gave him that.
Say this is the best worst company.
That's the shit. Kanye or so. You know, son. Kanye he'll make a way to make that shit make sense. Only Kanye West. What's that?
But if they get G Unit, they somehow find a way to get G Unit.
That'd be hilarious if they got G Unit up in there. But Vince need to bring back G-Unit. I mean, Rey Mysterio brought back the LWO with Zelina and them. Vince got to bring back. You know what? Matter of fact, Vince need to say he gorilla. I done took over the jungle. Like New York, I'm gorilla. Vince need to come out. Because son, like Vince need to come. Can you imagine where's Bobby Shmurda from? Brooklyn, right, JoJo?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Vince came out doing the shmoney dance? I got rid of his ass, pal. Vince coming out with the goddamn with the mustache, he's doing the shmoney dance. Him and Nick Khan in the middle of the street doing the fucking shmoney dance. I would be dying laughing. Because we already said it. What's that?
Now that we brought up G-Unit, so the John Cena UK See Me has caused a lot of controversy. I don't know if y'all been following it, but like the media is trying to start a race war off the so it was these two college girls that
the college game, UConn and LSU, I think it was.
Yeah, they're doing the Johnson You Can't See Me to each other, and everybody is talking about it, is mad about it. Somehow people is still mad that nobody credits Tony Ayo. And I was like, it's like, yeah, Tony Ayo might have did it first, but nobody knows it because of him. Everybody knows it because of Cena. Let's be real.
Everybody knows because of Cena. Yeah, Tony Ayo did it, but
Yayo is a talented writer and all that, but he was one of the least relevant members of GM. Like you don't got people quote other than I Get Money. You don't got people quoting Tony Ayo songs, bro. Like
only the hardcore rap heads know that,
right?
Because I know I was gonna say because he was there, and then remember he got arrested,
right?
So he was gone for a while.
Exactly. Like
so you kind of
like the only person you competing with is like last member of G Unit is Young Buck. The standout members was a unit was 50. The Game and Lloyd Banks. They were the top members of G. You know what I mean? Lloyd was the fire mercenary on the mic, and 50 Cent and Game were the personality of the group. They different aspects. Game brought that West Coast flavor to the East Coast. It was
when he got in there.
Yeah,
I'm surprised WWE didn't do a G-Unit type stable during the Ruthless Aggression era with like Cena.
It would have been cool.
That would have been money. Cena, like Thug and Ahmed Cena with Crime Time. You could have bought.
The problem was they had white people writing it. That was the problem. You had Stephanie McMahon and people like that writing it. And P.S. Michael, hey, dude, I got an ideal. How about we have him come out with Rodney Mack, call him Red Dog? That was the type of shit they had going on back then. If they actually had good writers, they could have did that. They had white people writing this shit.
That's why I was saying they transitioned out of that character a little bit too early. I understand they had to go in a different direction, but you could have still did stuff with that rapper gimmick. Like I said,
maybe
if they had good writers, you could have kept him as Thugonomics for a little bit more. He wouldn't have got booed because he wanted to dish that character. Well, I don't know that because the March taking over at the part with, but you had to Thugonomics Cena, Crying Time. You could have brought R-Truth back, from Impact.
Well, they had CTC, but Cena buried that because Crime Time was getting more popular than he was. That's why that was only like a 1 month thing. Remember, Cena was with Crime Time when he went against JBL?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. He went against JBL in the Legacy. That happened the way it did because Cena, he bigfooted them backstage. And Shad, more specifically, who's the more outspoken one, talked about it in interviews. That Cena, the Crime Time was getting a lot louder reactions. And Cena was like, oh, hell no. He Mr. Kennedy their ass, basically. That's what happened.
Yeah, but the reason why, but yeah, true, but also then it was PG, so you couldn't have did a lot of stuff.
No, you could do some rap stuff. But look what Wildin' Out, Nick Cannon, that's kind of PG. Look what he does with that.
Yeah, but they were going like 2 PG at the time. That's what I was telling you. That's what, like, whereas in 2005, 2006, you could, the possibilities is endless. You have good writers, Thug and Ahmed Cena, Crime Time, R-Truth, that's Ron Killings. You could have brought in some more people, some hot.
It would have been cool. It definitely would have been cool.
You could have put some hot girls in it because G-Unit had girls in their group. You could have had some hot women in the group. I mean, there's the possibilities are endless, but no.
I mean, you still could do stuff like that now. Like, I mean, rap with how much rap is involved with wrestling, whether I agree with it or not, you still can do that now. Like the fact we always talk about how they don't take good advantage of factions. The Bloodline and what's the other one? Bloodline and Hurt Business. Well, Hurt Business is not even a thing no more. The Bloodline and Sheamus's group should not be the only two factions in wrestling. That is absolutely stupid when you have a pay-per-view that's dedicated to factions called Survivor Series. Why is there not more factions in wrestling? Nobody wants to watch AEW for 6-man tag team wrestling. They've had the same feud for over a year. with the Triangle of Death and those other people. That's the only motherfucker. Well, how do you got 6-man belts with 2 teams? That is the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. That's like having a bacon burger and you don't got no bacon. It's fucking stupid. You advertise it as a bacon burger and there's 1 strip of bacon on there. Like, come on, man. Like, a lot of this stuff don't make sense that they're doing. And that's why I'm happy with the new merger, because it has a new set of eyeballs. I love JoJo's son. How Vince was in the interview and the dude was trying to ask him about the sexual allegation thing. He was pro, he was business about it. He didn't even focus on it. He ain't let it bring him down. Vince is still a pro. And the second thing was when Vince, they was asking him, how does it feel that he basically dude was saying, how does it feel to get one over on everybody and still own the company? And Vince said it is what it is. He played the shit out of them. Y'all really thought y'all was about to take down Vince with the amount of favors he can call in for people? You know how much money Vince has made people? Like, come on. You really thought the media was going to go against a big tycoon like Vince? Why do you think no matter how much people whine like babies, Donald Trump don't get in trouble? That man built New York City. His father built New York. Who a lot of people view as the center of the universe. Why would they indict a man with a business brain like Donald Trump? Just like Kanye West. They say he's an idiot, but he makes us money. You think Adidas is mad at the stuff that, you know how much money he makes off Yeezys for Adidas? Like, come on. Like, y'all got to use y'all head sometimes, people. Like,
it's all about design. It's all it is about design.
Like, these people are stupid. But I'm so happy it's a fresh set of eyes, JoJo. I cannot emphasize. Now, don't get me wrong. I got my reservations. Like, how are they going to mix UFC and they 2 different worlds? Can you imagine a UFC fan beating the shit out of one of these nerds that's saying some stupid shit? It's going to be blood in the streets.
I would get
these people are going to be getting their ass kicked, dude.
Imagine that on World Star. Somebody got to get that on World Star.
JoJo, can you imagine the son UFC putting people in adjacent saying heel hooks on the ground because these fans chanting stupid shit? It's gonna be soda pop. It's gonna be Viper products and energy drinks being smacked over nerds' heads because they chant stupid shit over fights. Because that's the one thing that we went over everything that's comparable about WWE, but the one thing that's incomparable is the crowds are 2 completely different things. Like UFC crowds are normal people. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Omar.
Do you think that we can potentially get ring card girls in wrestling since the UFC has ring card girls? Society say he doesn't see it, but do y'all see it?
Rain card girl, not why people like Lance Storm and Medusa exist. No, it won't happen. Then again, you know what? No, it can't, because those idiots don't have say so no more. Because Arya, what's that the fella's name? Arya, what? JoJo from Endeavor?
Huh? Arya Manuel. Yeah,
him. With fellas like him, he's a smart dude. And he was smart enough he was defending Vince when that dude was trying to bury him at CNBC. You could tell that dude was trying to incriminate Vince, and he was like, bro, no, I've known Vince for 20 years. I don't care what y'all talking about. I'm always going back.
Yeah, they tried to put him. Yeah, they talked about why would you think, and he said, why? He said, I wanted to fire him. I wanted him to stay. That's what he said. Vince said that he was going to walk away, but I already told him to stay.
Right.
To stay on because he liked his mind, his business mind. So that's why he's staying on. Yeah. You put him as chairman.
Yep.
So
to answer your question, Omari, I think it's possible. Yeah, it's just a matter if they really want it or not. Even the board of directors can't say nothing. Vince has 49% vote. They don't about 49% stake in the company. Anything Vince wants to happen is going to happen. Like, y'all just got to deal with it, bro.
Nick Khan is president.
Exactly. Like,
that's fucking insane. Yo,
imagine one thing I can guarantee you, Omari, that we're going to have a lot more is star versus star matches. You're going to see that because the people with Endeavor are the ones that got Logan Paul. They know what stars look like. You're going to see a lot more star power crossover celebrity type matches happening. Yeah, it's going to happen.
So I got a question. Do you think indie midgets, guys like Gargano, was finally start to get pushed, and guys like Braun and Waller and Melo?
I don't think he's going to get pushed, but he's going to be a lifer in NXT. People like that are going to go. The British dudes and all that, they probably going to go to NXT.
And guys,
they're mine.
Waller doesn't get called up tonight, I'm going to be very confused. Like, what is?
Has it been any call ups yet? I just noticed Raw is on. That's right. Has it been?
Not yet. Not yet.
Oh my God.
They've been itching. You know, the Braun Breaker call up is itching.
Hopefully,
the Grayson Waller one, we don't
Yep.
know. Maybe I know Cameron Grimes is supposed to make his call up. Cameron's supposed to be up. He's supposed to be coming up. As far as the women's side, I don't know. I'm still shocked that Indy Hartwell won the NXT Women's title.
As am I.
crazy.
I am so surprised that happened.
That is crazy.
I wish Timothy Stratton. I ain't gonna lie, I want Timothy Stratton to win, but
Word.
up the better, honestly.
You know
that was when they built it up. I thought that's what. Yeah, it was felt like they built it that way. Either it was gonna be Stratton. I thought it would be either Stratton or my homegirl Zoe Stark. I thought it was gonna be Stark. One of the two.
Is Tiffany Stratton a heel or babyface?
She's a heel.
She's a heel.
You know,
she's right. They like her a lot.
She's dope. I like her. I like that moonsault.
Yeah.
Is dope.
Where's homie Corey Jade at? I haven't seen her in a minute.
She's still around.
Yeah, she's around, but she's sitting out for a little bit. She might. Who knows if she gets the call up? That'd be crazy.
Is it just me or did she get hotter when she turned heel? Sorry,
she did.
They made her look more grown up. That's why.
Yeah, she did. She's not AJ Lee 2.0 no more. That
was my gripe. That was my gripe with Corey Jade. I was like, Corey Jade, you gotta look
hotter than AJ Lee ever was.
I was like,
but she had a very similar dress and stuff, like the way she looked.
Yeah.
She was just AJ with a skateboard. That's all.
I heard rumors that Braun Breaker. I heard people talking about Braun Breaker turning heel. Honestly, I'm all for that. I'll join up with the Creed brothers. That would be awesome.
Nah, keep him single. The Creed brothers not entertaining enough to put with him. They all right, but they'll slow him down. And not only that, don't bother doing that because it's not no 6-man titles. I don't like 6-man unless you got belts for them. Like let them do their own, but just put them in the tag team division.
I think Braun Breaker should turn heel. If they call him up, he should be a heel because the fans is going to turn him.
If they turn him heel, put his girlfriend with him. Put Cora Jade with him. She's already a heel. Anyway.
I think they need to do it anyways. If you debut him on the main roster, turn him heel because they already know that they're high on him. This is going to be.
You know what? I do the opposite. Let him stay babyface for a while, and this is why. Roman Reigns still got the title. He need babyface opponents. Don't turn him heel yet.
True, but you know but the fans are going to turn. Yeah.
And then another thing you got to keep in mind, Omari, both of the mid card champions are heels too. Gunther is a heel and Theory is a heel. You can't. It's too many.
You're right, but I'm afraid I'm just afraid. We've seen this so many times. With Cena and Roman, they want that's the guys that they want, but then when you get them, they turn on them. And
I don't think you can judge that type of school of thought with today's fans because today's fans aren't normal. And what I mean by that is they don't cheer and boo people the same way. It don't matter what the company puts you as. If they want to boo you, they're going to boo you. If they want to cheer you, they're going to cheer you. So I don't think it matters what they bring them up as.
That's what I'm afraid.
If they don't like them, they already made up their mind that they don't like them already.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid. I don't think they're gonna like Braun Breaker. He's not their style.
They barely like him now, so I don't think it's gonna make that much of a difference. They barely like him in NXT. Like he is cheered in certain buildings, but they don't like him. They don't like him over like Gargano and people like that. You know what I mean? Like they don't like him over that. Honestly, one major thing you missing, Omari, is the fact that he might have heat because his dad just got into it with Giselle Shaw at that convention. So he might not be
the convention.
Come up as a heel and have him come up with Corey Jade. Have him be that's an interesting pairing right there. Similar with Waller. If you debut Waller tonight, pair him up with Theory. That could help that Theory out big time.
I'll say this. If Braun Breaker ends up being a heel, you got to let him turn heel like how Scott Steiner turned heel.
Oh,
you got to do that.
He became Big Papa Pump.
You got to do that. You got to turn it like that. Like how he was just in that one match and everything looked good and he was just like, to hell with this. And he left. And then he came back, he was Big Papa Pump.
As a matter of fact, since if you're gonna do the heel thing, I take what both of y'all just said and put them together for this idea. Have his uncle come back and cut promos for him, even though Breaker can talk. put his girlfriend with him and say, yeah, he talked about that tranny. So what? You have him go crazy.
Oh, nah.
Imagine the heat, son. That I know it's a different time, but imagine the heat. They might as well.
That would have been crazy if you could have. Yeah.
It would be cool if they somehow found a way for Braun Breaker to be like Stone Cold Steve Austin in a way, but his uncle in a way. You know how cool and badass that would be?
It'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be dope. That would be dope.
It'd be cool, but he only got like 3 believable opponents he can go against. He only got Roman, Cross, and LA Knight. That's it. I mean, I'm the only people that got any business being in the ring with him.
Like you take the no BS, no BS nature of Stone Cold. Some of the stuff.
Promos of Scott Steiner.
Yeah, some of the qualities that made Stone Cold cool, and you miss it with his uncles. That's a recipe. Oh, that was.
It's strange that now that we talking about all of this, and because my creative brain is starting to turn, I find it interesting that Scott Steiner and Austin never worked with each other before. That is very weird. Well, Austin was retired by then. That's why. Yeah. When Steiner came in, Austin was retired. That's what the problem is.
Yeah. I find it weird that Steiner never had a promo battle with The Rock.
Would have been cool. Definitely would have been cool. I don't know if egos would have held up. I think that would have turned into a fight, Victor, backstage. I honestly think that would have turned into a real fight.
Yeah.
Both of them, they don't like to be upstage. Neither one of them like to be upstage. Now, I think The Rock would have been a little more cool, but the minute, let's say, for example, The Rock started talking about Papa Pump. How many Roy? What you feel a little motivated, huh, Scott? You got a little bit of that steroid energy? If he would have said some shit like that, it would have been a fight. And The Rock, The Rock was a savage. I think if he would have made the Steiner look a little small, like that would have turned into a fight. Yes, like when Cena said The Rock had them notes on his wrist, I thought The Rock was gonna rip Cena throat out. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Because if you saw The Rock, The Rock is usually professional, even though he cut your ass up on the mic. But boy, you could tell if looks can kill. The Rock wanted to beat the shit out of John Cena for doing it.
I don't know about that. People said that was fake. People said they did that for Cena they make that up for Cena. I don't know
because The Rock has a lot of freedom backstage, and I doubt they would have told him he can't do that. So I don't think so. I think people that sounds like some shit that the dirt sheets came up with. I think that was real. I think that was real that he did that because the way they built around it, you could tell that shit was personal. Like they started taking shots at each other online and no, they didn't. WWE and I think Victor, you giving WWE not Victor Omari. You giving them too much credit. WWE is not smart enough to set nothing up like that. They wouldn't even
Well,
they wouldn't have did that.
That's what people in our shit, like OTSR Central and people like that were saying that they make that up for Cena so he can get one over on The Rock. I always think that I've always was agreeing with y'all. I was like, why would The Rock agree to
The Rock wouldn't even agree to that. Like that's why I don't believe The Rock wouldn't agree to nothing like that. Because I know how The Rock is. Like he just And then not only that, think about this. The Rock and John Cena are both savages on the mic. You think they wrote that stuff that Cena said to Austin Theory or Cena said that himself? Cena said that. That's him.
Said that to himself, yeah.
Because he has the power to say what he wants to say.
Yeah, in my opinion, Cena, in my opinion, kind of had the better. Like, if you go back and look at the feud, in my opinion, I might get hate for this. Like, obviously, The Rock won, but like, if you think of it, Cena probably had said the better.
Cena got him towards the end of it. Cena, as it got closer to WrestleMania, Cena got him. He caught him. Now, the funniest thing The Rock did was with the kid with the Fruity Pebbles and stuff. That shit was funny. That was the funniest shit that he did. That was The Rock. That's fresh cut, as Ari Spears would say. Chris Tucker, what was the analogy that he used? Chris Tucker back on Friday was funnier than Chris Tucker from Rush Hour, even though I think both of them were relatively funny. But he was like, Chris Tucker he said back on the stand-up days, Def Comedy Jam. He said that was uncut, fresh Colombian cocaine. That stuff with Cena and the Fruity Pebble, that was like The Rock when he used to be ragging on Kevin Kelly now. That was like A-level Rock. Yeah, like that wasn't Rock that he was rushed. Yeah, he had to be somewhere next, so he had to jot down some kind of clever, but not. No, that was The Rock when he had time to think. When he was like, I'm going to bury the shit out of this motherfucker for these goofy
t-shirts. To be honest, my favorite promo Cena said to The Rock during the feud is when he was when he went in on him. It was like ironically enough, it was the beginning of the feud. It was like his first rap. It's like he brought back the rap for the first time in a while, and he was like, calling him a Fruity Pebble. he was talking about how he wore a dress. It was hilarious. And then he said, he said something about don't go racing to which mountain rock because your mountain is broke back.
The only difference when you peel back the layers between The Rock and John, because they're very much diametrically aligned with each other. The only real difference between them, if you really think about it, The Rock is slightly more athletic. They very similar. They don't do a lot of moves. They both power type guys where they strong. They both cut promos similar where they will bury the fuck out of you. You can't keep up with them on the mic. They're very similar to each other. John Cena, a lot of people liken Cena to Hogan because of all the colorful stuff and all that. John Cena is more like The Rock than he is because Hogan was kind of a professional. Like, that's why who I think Rock and Cena kind of got this from is Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper was the original. If you could not keep up with Piper on the mic, you were done. He will bury the shit out of you. And I think The Rock and Cena got that from here. Whereas Hogan was professional. You would even see sometimes Hogan would get flustered when somebody would go off script. Like, for example, when Hogan was in the NWO and Piper first came back in 96, when Piper told him, hold on, I'm not done talking yet. You can look at Hogan's face and tell that Piper wasn't supposed to say that. But you couldn't do nothing to stop him from doing it. So that's why I always said The Rock and Cena was more close than Cena being compared to Hulk Hogan. Because they will bury you if you cannot keep up with them on the mic. That's just how they are. They like freestyle rappers. You can't keep up. Oh, well. You know what I mean?
Would you say Stone Cold Steve Austin was like Rock and Cena too? Or
Stone Cold was more to me like Hogan, where he was a little more controlled. He was a lot more professional. Don't get me wrong, he could be that way, but he ain't like The Rock and John Cena. No.
I got a question for y'all. Who will win in a promo battle, like a full-on promo battle where where everything is off the limits? Cena or Austin? That's a tough one right there.
I think it'd be pretty close. It'd be pretty close. I don't know what JoJo think, but I think it'd be pretty close though.
Yeah, I mean, I think
it'd be pretty close. It'd be pretty close. That's why I think we'll have to be. You know what? We might see that at WrestleMania 40 because they might need something to draw. I mean, unless Batista's coming out of retirement or something. I mean, I don't even know because Roman Reigns' story would likely be done by then. His reign would be because they just want him to get to 1,000 days to break the all-time record since Bruno. But I think they're gonna have to draw for Cena Austin to sell out Philly at 40 next year. They're gonna have to. Boy, I hate that WrestleMania is in Philly, but man, this might be the first time I actually have a legitimate reason to stop and see JoJo. I might actually go to Philly for that and get an actual cheese steak. I might. We'll see. I'm not too crazy about that East Coast traffic because I live in Chicago and traffic bad. I like WrestleMania when they're in warm places, but
now
I might actually go to Philly for that.
Yeah, but Prodigy, you is right though, because you is right though. Cena is they are closer together. Like the only thing really Cena and Hogan have in common is that they're both superhero type characters.
And they was catered towards kids. That's the only thing they really got in common.
Yeah,
other than that, I will put it as far as promos. John Cena is a savage. He up there with like The Rock. That's why that stuff was so good. Can you imagine how much better it would have been if that would have happened in like 2006 when they didn't have no limits? It would have been way better. Way better if that would have happened in 0506.
Yo, imagine Thug and Nam Cena versus People's Champs. Versus People's.
Oh yeah, that would have been cold. That would have been if The Rock is a baby, because I think Cena got to be the heel because he'd be perceived as a heel anyway by the traditionalists. So he would have to be the heel in the situation. But yeah, that would have been fire shit. But now, before I start getting late, because we already at the hour. Yeah, we already at hour 35. Okay, we'll go a little longer. Let's get into some WrestleMania. And JoJo obviously gonna be the person that because neither one of us actually fucking watched it. Me or Amari watched it. So JoJo will be. I kept up with it online. Night one. First yes or no question before I ask you the more analytical detail stuff. JoJo, a lot of people say night two was worse than night one, which is strange because I'm sorry, actually night one. They said night one was worse than night two, which is strange because night one had the better card. Which one did you enjoy the most, night one or night two?
You know, I actually like night one better than I like night two.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the pacing and actually how the matches went.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot more nostalgia in there because John Cena wrestled. Then we had Trish and Lita on there as well. Remember we talked about the 4-man tag match that we thought was gonna be dull? That shit was less than 10 minutes and had all the ill shit in it. I don't know how that shit managed to be that ill, but that shit was that ill. In less than 10 minutes.
Wow.
yeah, that's what I said.
Wow.
But it was really good, man. Of course, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, they killed it. That match was fire. Okay. That match could have actually ended WrestleMania. I'm gonna say that. Yeah, it could have ended WrestleMania if Zayn and Owens versus the Usos didn't have the storyline. Charlotte and Ripley could have ended night one.
Right. I think that was the idea. It's just if they weren't on the same night, it would have happened.
Yeah.
It just so happened to be on the because I thought Zayn would have been on the second night, but they couldn't have because you can't have the bloodline on the same night.
I thought if anything, Zayn and Owens would open night two, and it would be Reigns and Cody to end it.
Sure.
You could have done that, but they did it differently. I'm not gonna argue with that. What low points was in night one though? I know people complain about the John Cena match, but that was okay. The damage control thing match, we always talk about women's wrestling. It gets good, it's kind of awkward, but then it gets okay. That was kind of what that match was, but it was good because of nostalgia. Yeah. Trish Stratus and Lita did their thing. It was way better than the 4-way women's women's tag match in night two. That shit was a clunker. It was good, then it became a clunker. And then fucking Shayna and Ronda barely spent time in the ring. Shayna's shoe fell off. I think she hurt her foot or something, probably. Ronda was still partially hurt, but they only came in like the last couple minutes of the match. You know, Chelsea Green was there. I was happy for that. And props to Chelsea. She came back in the Royal Rumble, and she managed to be in the Royal Rumble and in WrestleMania. And she did her thing. So I was like, yo, that was pretty good. But night two was just kind of awkward, man. Brock Lesnar had that good match, or almost short match. I thought Brock almost pulled the muscle in his back because when he actually started nailing the German suplexes. The first one he did, I don't know if you got to see the highlight. Is like he went to lift almost, and like almost didn't get the cue to try to give the leverage so Brock could get the throw.
Yeah.
So Brock kind of lifted and he didn't expect it and he kind of slipped.
Right.
So then he kind of had to rough throw almost. And then he got back up and then like his whole demeanor kind of changed.
Yeah.
He got the suplexes, got the pin, and then he kept looking at almost like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like he wasn't like his back really hurt.
Yeah.
But he got through it. I thought Asuka was gonna win against Bianca Belair. That didn't happen.
Me too. Yeah, I'm surprised.
That was kind of that was really surprising.
Yeah.
The Gunther, Sheamus, Drew match. That was probably like the match I liked in night two. I really liked that match. Besides Cody and Roman, I really liked that match. That was probably like the number 2 match for me. But you know how I am.
Yeah,
I like the hard hitting. You know, when it comes to hostile matches, I like that shit.
Yeah, you're more of a combat sport fan. That makes sense. Yeah.
So that shit was okay. But then you had some of the weird things that happened on night 2. You know what I mean? The overbooking of the end of the Roman Reigns Cody Rhodes match, because the Usos came, then Sami Zayn and Owens came. Fucking Solo Sikoa got kicked out, got sent to the back, and then snuck back in with the fucking hoodie and caught Cody.
Yeah,
caught Cody. Like, yo, that was crazy. But that shit. Fucking Shane McMahon. We gotta pray for Shane. Shane blew his quad.
I didn't even know he was there. I did not know he was there.
Pat McAfee was there for night 1. That was a big surprise, but he was hinting at possibly showing up there.
Yeah.
On his show. Because he was talking about it. So he was throwing up a couple hints here and there.
Yeah.
So, but when he showed up, it was like, yo, Pat ain't gonna miss WrestleMania. He showed up, but Shane McMahon showing up was really surprising. That shit was surprising. Huh?
Who did he work with?
Shane?
Yeah.
The Miz.
Really?
For night 2, yeah.
I thought
they called him out.
Dog.
He came and he had the best walkout in 2 minutes in the ring. The man went for the duck under. He went, you throw the dude to the ropes, you go under, then you hit the leapfrog. He hit the leapfrog, landed, boom, there goes his quad. Oh my God. Then he tried to get back up, couldn't stand on the leg. And then we got to see the greatest improvisation we might have seen in quite some time. Snoop Dogg observes the situation. He sees what's going on. Miz is looking to see what's going on. Miz looked at Snoop. Snoop did the slow walk in the ring. Pops the Miz.
Yeah.
Then beats him up. Then hits the Snoop Dogg elbow, a.k.a. the High Times elbow, a.k.a. the whatever you want to call it. And that was it. He got a pin on him. That was it. Miz was in 2 impromptu matches. Him against McAfee and him against Snoop Dogg.
Give that man an award, son. Give him an award. Because
fucking crazy.
And think about this. He wasn't advertised to be on the show. And he outsold some of the matches on the actual show. Isn't that crazy? That shows you the professional that the Miz is. You can call him goofy, you can call him whatever. The Miz is a professional. And give it up to Snoop Dogg. People do not give Snoop Dogg enough credit for how adaptable, charming, and professional is. He's a star, dude. He's very impromptu. He's entertaining. Snoop Dogg was meant to be in the pro wrestling business, just like people like Logan Paul. He adapted to wrestling he had that one hiccup with that shitty frog splash in AEW. That was it. And he obviously misread something. Something was wrong. Maybe the person that was grabbing him, the timing was off. Who knows what was going on? But it was whatever it was a miscue. Other than that, every other time Snoop Dogg has been associated with wrestling, it's been good. He came out in the little ass plastic car at WrestleMania 24. But other than that, this man clotheslined the shit out of Chavo Guerrero and Santino Marella. He showed that bro, he's still from the street. So Snoop Dogg know how to clothesline somebody. That man probably used to do that to people in LA when he was a rolling 20s crip. Like, come on. You know what I mean? It ain't that hard for him to do. Matter of fact, he was with Tiny Draws that day, son, when they beat up Whack 100 at that club. He said, well, you know what I would have to you on them stairs, nigga, on them stairs.
Them stairs.
He said, put that on Pyru, nigga. Put that on Pyru, we ain't smack you in your head. But anyway. That's who Snoop was with the rolling 60s that day when they beat up Whack 100.
Oh my God.
But yeah, that's good, man. Snoop Dogg, Miz, even Victor said Miz is awesome. They don't give enough credit for how good he is, man. They say they brought the Hollywood to a themed WrestleMania that was not really Hollywood per se, but they actually brought that Hollywood element. All they was missing was Donald Trump, JoJo. The only thing they would have did to get that over the roof was an impromptu match with Donald Trump and probably Triple H or some shit like that. But like, if Trump was there in some type of capacity, that would have been the cap on, of a good WrestleMania. But it sounds successful. Especially for The Rock and Austin not being available for whatever reason. That was Snoop Dogg and Miz filled that void very good. Big ups to both of them.
Yeah, man. So I was just like, wow, I can't be. How I forget about the night 1 match too, the Seth Rollins Logan Paul match. Oh shit!
Before you get into that, what the hell was Seth Rollins wearing?
Seth Rollins had the remixed. He had the remix Jeff Jarrett, Brutus Beefcake, Shawn Michaels. He was everywhere with that outfit.
He had the gay guy package on that day, man. He went to motherfucking Banana Republic and went shopping, went crazy. He was looking like a bottle of Pepto-Bismol. You had your man a KSI coming out in the big bottle of energy. Like, come on, man.
Yo, that was shocking. That was shocking. He was the prime mascot. And he took a bump. That's crazy. Yo, they knew what they were doing, man.
Right.
They got it. They got everybody involved. They got everybody involved that they could.
Right.
As well as the Hall of Fame ceremony that they did. They had a lot of celebrity guests that were over there besides the wrestlers and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was all there, JoJo? You remember the celebrities that was there?
They got shit. I know that they had I'm trying to remember. Most of the folks that we usually see on I know one that I personally seen that I just remembered because I watched some of the Hall of Fame ceremony. Homeboy from Roll Bounce. Was it from the Roll Bounce? Yeah. The light-skinned kid from Roll Bounce.
Oh, I know you're talking about. Yeah. He was in yeah, I know. Did he have braids or long hair or something?
No, yeah, he had his curly hair out there.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah. I can't think his name, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I just brought a list up. Gabriel Iglesias, George Kittle, Ryan Garcia, Stephen A. Smith, Snoop, Lil Uzi Vert.
Yeah, Uzi performed. How I forget that Uzi performed? Yeah.
Uzi Vert, okay.
Yeah.
I forgot
Uzi
about
performed. They had who's it? Some of the folks, Johnny Knoxville was out there.
Hell yeah.
Of course, Stephen A. Smith did the introductories. He did the pre-show stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Ryan Garcia did too. Yeah. Yeah. I was surprised to see Stephen A. Smith. But Stephen A. Smith take any type of vacation that he can. He does like 9 shows on each.
Oh my God, yeah, that dude be working, man. Yeah, he definitely does. Say what you want about him. That man be putting in work, son. He
Word. But
Jojo,
yeah,
I mean, it makes sense for him to be that. Stephen A. Smith is the perfect personality for wrestling. He got the personality for it. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, man. He's involved in everything pretty much, man.
Yeah.
When he getting his money, I can't blame him. I can't fault him for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, there's a lot of people out there, man. But I did get to see some of the wrestlers, the Hall of Fame. I did see Rey Mysterio's acceptance. I seen Great Muta's acceptance. Mm-hmm. I seen Stacy Keibler's.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, damn, look at Stacy.
She still looks good.
Yeah, man.
She still looks good. And the way her and Rey Mysterio embraced each other was so sweet. Like when they saw each other backstage. And then the Snoop Dogg and Ray had the low rider with the stuff on the back, the Eddie car or whatever.
Oh my God, Ray had that whole helmet outfit, yo. That shit was crazy.
He had the Farouk from '97 shit going on. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Hell yeah, that shit was that was crazy though, man. He came out with the low rider. They had Eddie Guerrero's music bumping, and then he played his joint. Yeah.
I will say this: all differences aside between me and Conan, it was nice to see Conan finally back in WWE. That man has done so much for lucha wrestling, so much that it's unfortunate. I have to wait till he's sickly and he's old, but he was fucking Conan. He went out there, he put Ray over as like any hype man can. He said he's the greatest cruiserweight ever. He's a scarecrow because he's outstanding. Conan does not miss a beat.
Oh shit!
What happened?
Matt Riddle's back.
Oh, they need Riddle back though. They need Riddle back. They need some. Yeah, they needed him back. He been gone for a while.
Good to see him. Yeah, man. He hasn't been there.
Yeah.
You see what happens here, man. That man going through it.
Does he still got the same theme song?
Yeah,
he does. Yeah, he's been having some issues, Riddle, but it's good. You know what? I think, and that this goes back to the Endeavor, which is the backdrop of what we discussed in general today. This goes back to the Endeavor thing because Matt Riddle, with his MMA background, Endeavor is going to want to do some good things for Matt Riddle. I think he's going to be a integral part of WWE going forward because those type of people, Matt Riddle is done. He's made for deals like this. This is exactly the type of deals you need. Well, you need Matt Riddle for people like this. Yeah. Hopefully, we get to see Raw Underground come back, JoJo. Maybe Shane can come out in the wheelchair. He could be the general manager of Raw Underground or some shit like that. Because that quad might be a wild.
But I still can't believe that shit though, man.
I gotta watch that clip because I haven't seen it. I have to go back.
Yeah, Shane walked out there, man. He finally got down there. This man was in beads of sweat, and he turned red. Yeah, I was like, damn, Shane. Like Shane just came out there to entertain, but you know he was in it. He was in it.
Yeah,
like he was warming up backstage before he came out. So like he was worked, man. But then he went out there. Once he fell, man, people thought it was a work. But like, nah, that's not a work. That's not a work. Shane was really effed up, man.
Yeah.
Fuck though.
See, JoJo, my niece right now is my family's in California. It's funny they went to doing wrestling. They went to see other. I couldn't go because of work, but they went to California, and they're like 15 minutes away from where WrestleMania was at. Yeah. And my niece got a picture of Vince McMahon's Walk of Fame, and she sent it to me, and I put it on Twitter. But I just think it's crazy that they were out there when a lot of this shit was going on, and I'm looking like I would have went too if it was good. But as far as Shane goes, Shane probably they called him at the 11th hour and he didn't have enough time to warm up, and he didn't have enough time to get in shape. And he went out there and tried. That's like a dad that was a big football player back when he was in high school. They randomly get him off the grill and he plays a pickup game. He pulled his back. What did you expect that? You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. Or just, you know what I mean? Yeah, he's just going off the excitement of the crowd and stuff like that. Because, you know, it's in him. It's in him, but the body just ain't the same, man. That's all that is. But
Victor said Shane should have knocked out that boring ball gym and take over the
for
team.
real, man.
Victor,
I'm kind of tired of Adam Pearce, man. He don't add nothing to the show.
He's so fucking boring, bro.
He adds nothing to the show, man.
I'm just so done talking about this man, JoJo. I don't even mention him no more. I forgot he was there, honestly, until Victor. That motherfucker is boring, though. I'm not going to lie.
Man, I would take P.D. Williams as GM. Fucking Abyss as GM. Like, come on, man.
Wait a minute. P.D. Williams used to be the GM someplace? That is fucking hilarious. I didn't know that.
I would take P.D. as a GM. Nah, P.D.'s a backstage hand, but I would take him as a GM.
Oh, man. I'd take motherfucking Sean Devari as a GM over guys.
Yo, he signed me up. Yo.
Why is Adam other than this shows you that Triple H has a bad eye for talent. I would rather Mauro Ranallo stuttering with bipolar being the goddamn general manager. At least it'd be bring Teddy Long back with the beard and make tag team matches over this shit. You know, I take Stevie. Remember Stevie Richards was the GM of Sunday Night Heat? I take that shit over anything.
Oh, yeah.
Stevie Night Heat. That was fucking fun. Where the hell is Jason? This would have been the perfect show to fucking have Jason on. This man is in the woods somewhere hiding from Kamjan.
Oh, yeah, we had Edge. I forgot about the Edge match, too, the Hell in a Cell match. That match was good, too, man. And, boy, Finn busted his head open in mid-match. That shit was ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got a gash that's, like, from his hairline.
Yeah.
Like, the middle or nearly the other side of his head halfway.
At least he went out there and made it a Hell in a Cell match. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, that's the thing. Good match, though. Good match. You got the paint and all that shit. But, yeah, man, other than that, almost looked like a monster, ragdolling Brock and shit.
Yeah, I saw something.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Because you don't always get motherfuckers doing that type of shit.
Yeah.
But, man, I hope moving forward we get better things from WWE. WWE's been moving in the right direction for quite a bit now.
Yeah.
I mean, business-wise, they've been doing their thing. They've made some big-time revenue in the past couple years now.
Yeah.
And we see what happens. If we get some crossover shit, all I know is that this is gonna be in the news for a long time.
Absolutely.
So AEW, you had an opportunity to do something with y'all news when y'all had it. Y'all dropped the ball. Yep. WWE gonna keep doing ride this wave for a hot minute.
Yeah.
That's it.
Only thing y'all got in the news is CM Punk constantly being a baby. That's all that's ever in AEW news.
Hey, man.
And if y'all not gonna make no money out of this with some type of real fight between him and the Bucks or something, just get over it. Just stop with this shit already. Like, make an angle or not make an angle. It's just that simple.
Yo, let me tell you something. These motherfuckers are embarrassing themselves at AEW right now. Because from what CM Punk talked about, these motherfuckers are asking CM Punk to do the job while his ass was not medically cleared to do the job.
Right.
That's fucking ridiculous. Talking about John Moxley pulled a Hulk Hogan on him.
Wait, elaborate what you mean by he pulled a Hulk Hogan, because I think I know what you mean, but elaborate.
You remember when Hulk Hogan and Sting from what was it? Was it Starrcade?
97, yeah.
Where he got the pin and then they had to reverse it to get the pin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man said, I'm not going to take the pin. We're going to do the Rocky 3 storyline, which that's what he talked about. He said that they did a Rocky 3 storyline. He wasn't familiar with Rocky because he didn't watch the Rocky movies. So Moxley explained the shit to him because Moxley refused to take a pin from CM Punk.
Right.
So they did the storyline. That's why we got that 3-minute loss.
Yeah.
Remember they had the match that only lasted 3 minutes?
Yeah.
They did that shit. Punk wasn't medically cleared for that shit, but they did that shit anyway. And then, just for him to come back and wrestle Moxley days later to win the title back. It didn't make no sense.
Yeah, most things in AEW don't make sense.
And now when they trying to act certain people on it, they can't do it. And Moxley's giving his answer, talking about he's tired of the bullcrap. But he can't even go in depth with the bullcrap that he's talking about because all these motherfuckers have NDAs. They can't talk about certain things.
Right.
It's in their contract.
And y'all really think that a lot of these fans are naive enough to really think that Tony Khan is this benevolent leader? He's still right. First of all, I don't think these are Tony Khan decisions. I think his father is telling him, like, dude, you cannot be allowing these wrestlers to just be free pickings for WWE because Triple H will poach your talent. Don't think Triple H is above doing. You don't think he secretly talks to those talents behind Tony Khan's back? You better wake up to reality if you don't think Triple H. He's been trying to get FTR to come back to WWE for like 2 years. You don't think he was talking to Cody Rhodes on the low? Like, come on, dude. Like, y'all have to know about this. I'm almost sure Shahid Khan, who still technically is the money guy, he's the Vince McMahon of AEW. Tony Khan just runs it. Shahid Khan is the money person. You don't think he's gonna be like, son, you have to get these people to do NDAs, or we gonna have all type of lawsuits, or we gonna be losing talent left and right. So stop thinking AEW is this Wizard of Oz company where everything is all. No, they have business people. Tony Khan just isn't one of them. A lot of the smart decisions come from his dad, who successfully run businesses for years. He runs like multiple businesses. He's going to tell his son, like, no, don't do that. Do this. He's just, as Don Callis silly as say, I'm the hidden hand. He's the hidden hand or whatever. That's what Shahid Khan. So a lot of this business stuff is his father. Because Tony Khan is don't know a wristwatch from a wrist lock. He don't know shit about wrestling.
Shit, man. That shit is just so fucking, it's just so odd, man.
And Moxley might go back to WWE at some point, too. He going to go back with the Shield at some point.
We'll see what happens there because I know FTR got their match with the Guns. If they lose, then they got to leave AEW. I think that match is this Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, Andrade was at the Hall of Fame ceremony. Yeah, that was it too.
Yeah, that's cool.
Andrade, Malachi, and Buddy Matthews. Yeah.
What do they call again? What's that group called?
House of Black.
Yeah,
there you go. They're the trios champions there at AEW now.
Oh, okay. So they got a third team. Okay, I stand corrected. I'm sorry. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff. Yeah. People been going public about they want women's belts and AEW. Like, dude, they don't have enough good talent to have AEW women's tag.
There's too much green talent for AEW women's tag titles.
Yeah, they can't. WWE's having a hard enough time managing tag titles.
Yes,
like come on. AEW don't have half the professionalism that WWE. See, the thing that they need to combat this stuff, and this is something that we need to do going forward. They need to have either people with charisma as coaches with Endeavor that's coaching these women. I'm trying to think of somebody that might fit this bill. Who's kind of a veteran female fighting expert that got kind of some charisma? I'm trying to think of somebody. You can think of a lot of people for the males because it's been male MMA has been around longer than female, so it's not a lot. Other than Ronda Rousey, I can't think of anybody that'd be a good coach for these girls as far as like trying to teach them like believability and how to make that. And I know it's weird because Ronda's not the most polished person, but she's had success.
Yeah, actually,
draw. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it actually is kind of crazy. You don't have many. No, you don't have many females that like can talk the talk and do that. Other than the former strawweight champ Joanna Jędrzejczyk.
Yeah,
she kind of has that, but not as big as what Ronda had.
Right.
That's the problem. Yeah, that's one of the biggest problems. Yeah, that's going on now. As far as women's MMA goes, it's very true. Like when it's been discussed too. Like we talk about talent, and we could look at the talent because of how they fight. You can see them. Yo, they're big stars because of how they fight.
Right.
But without the talking ability, without that charisma,
right. Like Ronda was the last one. At one point, when she was in Strikeforce, she was better than a lot. Her fights were bigger draws than some of the men when she was in Strikeforce. But
she was the last one, and and the mega star.
You can argue that she's the reason female MMA is even popular to begin with. It was because of Ronda Rousey. Like
she took it to new heights. She took it to new heights.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I'm quite surprised Eve Torres, considering she has a WWE background and she does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm surprised she never tried to fight nowhere. Like
me neither.
Personality, you know what I mean? She was in WWE. She's hot. Like you would think she would have tried to make a pursuit of that with the Gracies and being her husband. Yeah, that's a bit weird. That's something that these women need to consider doing, because I don't know if Miesha Tate can talk. She's definitely hot. She has a great personality. Dude, it might have to be like a Paige Van Zandt or something like that, man, because she's starting to learn a little bit about wrestling. So maybe a Paige or, maybe Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville, who's trained by America's Top Team. Your best bet might be to turn Sonya Deville into like the coach, kind of like wrestler thing when they go to Endeavor. She's the only one right now that really can do it that I'm thinking about. It's Sonya Deville. That's about it.
Like that crossover appeal, yeah.
She's that's it, And another thing, WWE, y'all have to get Mandy Rose back. I don't care. I honestly think they're going to try to get Mandy Rose back.
They might.
Look at the money that they lost, and they're gonna be like, we got to get Mandy Rose. Endeavor is gonna they're gonna be like, yeah, go ahead and get her. Now the thing is, does Amanda want to come back? Does she want to come back? Is the thing. They're gonna have to offer her the right money because she's making hand over fist like right now, like putting up just sexy pictures. Why put your body online again? I would love to see Amanda come back, but if she don't want to, I totally understand that she don't. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep up with her regardless. So I'm a fan of Mandy, but I think they're gonna have to get Mandy. JoJo, man, we might be returning to actual bra and panties match. We might get it back. I am keeping my fingers crossed that we get bra. You still can have to shoot fights with the girls and all that, but can we have bra and panties matches come back? You can have the girls with the cards. The UFC girls to double as WWE girls or something. That'd be so awesome. That'd be so.
That would be.
We already got a hot ring announcer. We got a Ricochet's girl. She's Samantha Irvin, great ring announcer. And even a lady in NXT, the sister in NXT, great ring announcer. Very passionate, gorgeous, great ring announcer. Unique, got the fro and stuff. She got her own look. It's a new day, JoJo. It's a lot to be excited about in wrestling and in UFC. It's a good merger deal going on right now.
I'm here.
I'm sorry. How ironic would it be if Francis Ngannou signs to WWE and still box? Would that not be great? Just to stick it to Dana White, I told you, I come back for you. That's the first major storyline Francis involved in. They put him with MVP or some shit like that, and then he got a feud against. They have a feud against like a former UFC, but maybe Jake Paul or so. That should be hilarious, dude. Jake Paul is in Dana White's corner, and then they got Francis Ngannou representing WWE. I hit them, I connect with the right, it is over. That should be hilarious, dude. Dana White, you play me, I sign with competition. That'd be so Oh,
yo, that would be wild, right? Like, yo, think about it. He left the UFC. He signed with WWE for some matches.
Yeah. They still let him keep his commitment elsewhere with boxing or whatever he does.
Word, and boxing and stuff like that. Yo.
Your man's Tyson Fury out here constantly having kids, son. This man is working on his 7th kid, I think he said. This man is just popping them babies out, son.
Yeah, Tyson Fury is ridiculous, man. People are mad at him right now, yo.
Why?
Because he's avoiding getting this fight with Usyk.
Oh my god.
With that dude Alexander Usyk. Yeah. They're supposed to have the fight, but the talks died now. Oh because he keeps trying to move the bar. Every time, yo, we gonna have this fight? Yeah, we're gonna have this fight. Right. Oh, we're gonna have it here. Yes, we're gonna have it here. Oh, Usyk won the 50% split per split. No, we're gonna do a 70-30. Usyk looked and said, "Okay, cool. I gotta take 30%. Fine, I'll take 30%. You take 70. Let's get this done." They keep throwing extra stuff in there. All right, fine then, no problem. Let's do this. Oh, fine then. Let's have winner takes all and no rematch clause.
What?
Yeah.
That's not That's not a good deal for him. Yeah, that's
no. So it's like, yo, if you don't want to fight me, just say you don't want to fight me then.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what's happened.
Yeah, he sounds right. That's some Floyd Mayweather shit when he was trying to avoid fighting Pacquiao in like 2009. Like, come on.
Yeah. And they dragged it out years later. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That man wasn't even focused on boxing no more. He was like a fucking city councilman in the Philippines or something. Like, come on, dude. Like,
word.
Yeah, like,
so that's the type of shit we dealing with, man. But
yeah,
yo, fucking Wilder's trying to get a fight.
Yeah,
and,
he should.
And if that can happen, get it done.
Yeah,
Wilder don't got a problem with it, and Wilder's the next big name you could have there. Because Anthony Joshua don't know what he want to do. So, you know, Anthony Joshua fought over the weekend and looked like a shell of himself. It's the saddest thing I think I've seen so far. He won the fight. He won the fight convincingly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But he didn't go for He didn't go for broke or try to pressure and try to really get the KO.
Yeah,
it's like he fought so safe, man. That shit is just really crazy.
He's not hurt. He's not injured, is he? You know,
No, he's not injured. No. No, it's just that he lost those last 2 fights and he just looks so plain.
Right.
He's just not himself, man.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
If I would say this, if Deontay Wilder doesn't fight again, WWE should be trying to get him. They need to be trying to get him to do something. Have him do something with Brock. Have him do something with Lashley or MVP. Have him work with Omos. Get that man in there every day. Get that man up in there and let him, let him get down and with the get down, man.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's what they got to do, man. And hopefully, like you've always wanted, get some stars in the ring with these wrestlers. That's what you wanted. That's what they got to do, and I agree with it. They need some new life. Breathe some new life in there. Because things are moving, but you got to get it moving. That's a bit more, man. That's a bit more.
Especially for the deal that they paid out, man. Which I had this up for a while and I haven't read it yet. Let me put this up officially so we can see.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's crazy. Go ahead.
The amount of money that they're paying for this, like, dude, Endeavor is dropping a fucking UFC's worth 16. They bought I think UFC for 16 mil, I believe. Let me double check this. And WWE is for 9.6. I'm almost sure that's what it is. Just think about how much money that is, dude. Like, WWE is not worth $9.8 billion. Not currently, they're not. Let's go to UFC Endeavor. I had it up and I must accidentally enclose it. Endeavor to acquire WWE. Here it is. I'm gonna put this up on the screen.
What? Oh!
Go ahead.
What? Yo! No way!
JoJo say it's some shit when JoJo does that. What's going on, son?
Dog, early on the show, they talked about how, they cut the segment. Roman came back, won. Cody felt that he got cheated. He wanted a rematch. They said they're fine. Then you get yourself. You want to fight? You want to fight both of us? Get yourself a partner. So Cody was chilling, and then Brock came out.
Yeah.
So Brock volunteered to be the partner against Roman and Soa. Now they have the match. They doing their introductions. Cody went and did his introduction. Brock F5'd his ass.
I was going to say
Brock just F5'd his ass again.
Yeah, I was going to say Brock has to turn on Cody. I was going to say that. When I saw that, I'm like, no, this can't happen. Brock has to turn. Yeah,
shit.
We probably going to get Brock and Cody in mid-card matches now, probably for a little while. Roman's probably going to work with Riddle. Probably. Wow. I had a feeling he was going to turn on him, though. But,
the fact.
Okay.
Nah, they're maximizing on this Cody return for real.
Yeah.
Like,
they really want to build up sympathy for this dude. So when he finally wins.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people was mad.
Like, Cody Rhodes did not have no adversity into this title. Like, they would have farted on his title reign. If they going to keep this dude as a babyface, they got to build him up properly. So we have to think, as of today, April 3rd, 2003, WWE will no longer be a family business. On April 3rd, Endeavor announced it will buy WWE and will combine it with the UFC to form a global live sports and entertainment company. Endeavor and WWE announced a, quote, definitive agreement that will see Endeavor hold a 51% controlling interest in the new company, while WWE shareholders will hold a 49% interest. Excuse me. Quote, this is a rare opportunity to create a global live sports entertainment, pure play built for where the industry is headed, said Ariel Emanuel, CEO of Endeavor. For decades, Vince McMahon and his team has demonstrated an incredible track record of innovation and shareholder value creation. And we are confident Endeavor can deliver a significant additional value for shareholders by bringing UFC and WWE together. I'm telling y'all this right now. I'm going to own stock in this stuff. You should own stock too, because this is one of the biggest business mergers that is not going anywhere anytime soon. And if you were smart, you will make some money off of it. That's I know I am. I can tell you that right now. I'm definitely going to own some stock with Endeavor. I'm probably about to buy something in a minute. Given the incredible work at Ari and Endeavor have done to grow the UFC brand, nearly doubling its revenue over the past 7 years, and the immense success we've already had in partnering with their team on a number of ventures, I believe that this was without a doubt the best outcome for our shareholders and the stakeholders, said Vincent K. McMahon, executive chairman of WWE. McMahon continued, together, we will build a 21+ billion live sports entertainment powerhouse with a collective fan base of more than 1 billion people and an exciting growth opportunity. The new company will be well positioned to maximize the value of our combined media rights, enhance sportsmanship monetization, develop new forms of content, and pursue other strategic mergers and acquisitions to further bolster our strong stable of brands. I, along with the current WWE management team, look forward to working closely with Ari and Endeavor and the UFC team to take the business to the next level. So if anybody's a business person, y'all need to give. This is a big-ass business thing right now. So they talked about blah, blah, blah. It says the transaction, which values UFC at an enterprise value of $12.1 billion and WWE at an enterprise value of $9.3 billion, has been unanimously approved by Endeavor and WWE respective board of directors. This is an insane business deal right now. Get y'all heads out y'all ass, bro.
You know what's crazy? You remember a while ago, like about 2 years ago, we talked about Endeavor going public.
Yep.
And when they put their stocks out there for people to purchase, and they were running at about $40 to $50 a share, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, that sounds good.
Yeah. Kind of crazy how much that's going to be worth now.
Yeah, like this is a crazy business deal right now. And Endeavor is going to take over a lot more industries beyond this point. They're going to start acquiring the contracts of other people in other sports too.
Yeah, it was actually when it first came out, it was about $20-something. I remember it was $20-something a share. It went up, it was up, it went down a little bit, and then it slowly started getting up. So now I wonder how much that joint's gonna be worth now.
Oh man,
bro,
crazy! Like I said, I'm about to buy some stock with this, and this is an exceptionally well business deal. And if people stop looking at little petty stuff like, oh, Vince, after all the allegations, Vince is a businessman. This is a strictly business. It's certain stuff Vince is not going to do. He's not going to be overly involved with creative. He's definitely not going to be directly in those storylines. That ended in Dallas when he took that sloppy stunner. That was it. That was the end of the era. And he only came out of retirement to do that with Stone Cold. He was very strategic. You notice he only did that for Austin, his biggest franchise player ever. Like, come on. He did that for Stone Cold. But Vince is not, you already know, he's going to have to say so backstage, which stars are used, yeah, but he's not going to be out there, having Stacey Keebler or other women put Chelsea Green putting her legs on his neck. That's not going to happen. That Vince is over with. Vince has accepted the fact that he's an old man with a drawn-on mustache. He's going behind the scenes and just about to be a businessman. That's all Vince is doing. So all these people that's upset about that, go watch MSW, go watch Impact, go watch NJPW, go watch the 3,000 wrestling companies Tony Khan got. Like, the WWE needs to return to its glory of being for casual fans. That's what this company needs to be. It's just that simple. JoJo, we got anything with UFC? I think we covered just about everything. We're Raw. No call up, no new debuts or nothing like that, right?
So just only Riddle's return, pretty much.
Wow.
But as far as UFC goes, well, we talked about Anthony Joshua. He had a fight over the weekend, beat Jermaine Franklin. Lackluster fight. That co-main on that card was pretty good though. George Masvidal had his boxing show, Game Bred Boxing. Jesus Christ. They are definitely going for the sympathy with Cody, man. He's getting messed up. But yeah, man. Game Bred Boxing made his Game Bred Boxing 4 was out. The event was all right. Nothing. It was MMA fighters boxing. Yeah, MMA boxers boxing, some local amateur talent. But it was headlined by Roy Jones and Anthony Pettis. Pettis won by decision against Roy Jones. Majority decision. The fight was okay though. It was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. All right, highlights was Pettis beat Jones. That was pretty cool. Vitor Belfort fought Jacare Souza. That was all right. For people who don't know, Vitor Belfort has some of the fastest hands in the UFC, or probably in the MMA period, for being in a larger weight class, middleweight and up. He fought Souza. That was a pretty good match. Jose Aldo, the featherweight king of both WEC and UFC at one point, he fought Jeremy Stevens. Yo, Jose Aldo could box, bro. For a guy who's MMA orientated and went to box, and actually he boxed when he was younger, yo, Jose Aldo could box for real. But they went to a draw. And that fight, I recommend you go watch and whatnot.
Okay.
There was also some good fights. There was 2 ladies fights on here. Gina Mazzani beat Pearl Gonzalez. If you like shape, ladies with curves and cute faces, go check that out. That was a pretty good fight, Yeah. Faces did get messed up. And also B. Gwynn versus Andy Gwynn. That was another ladies fight. Andy's a long time combat sports. Like, she's been in mixed martial arts for like years. And B's she's an up and coming mixed martial artist, like somewhat. She was in one championship. Go check that out. That was a good fight. B won. Long-time fighter, Joe Riggs. He fought Marcus Perez. Man twisted his ankle mid-fight. And then got technically knocked out. That kind of sucked. Other than that, card was okay. The PFO card, I was kind of disappointed. I'll just narrow it down real quick. 11 fights. 3 fights went to actual finishes. As in somebody got submitted or knocked out. 3 of those things happened. So you ended up with 8 fights going to a decision. Let me explain something to you. If the fights are not amazing, if they go to a decision, it becomes very dull. That's what happened on fucking Saturday, dog. It was just straight up boring fights. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. It was just horrible. But longtime veteran, Marlon Moraes fought Brendan Loughnane. And Brendan beat this guy with leg kicks. He literally won the fight on leg kicks. He kicked this man's calves to the point that this man couldn't stand no more. And that was the end of the fight. Wow. Marlon Moraes now has 6 losses in a row due to knockout or technical knockout. It might be time for Marlon Moraes to hang it up. Other than that, this Saturday, UFC 287 in Miami, Florida, Israel Adesanya will try to reclaim the middleweight title against the boogeyman of his career, Alex Pereira, who has now beaten Israel Adesanya 3 times. 2 times in kickboxing and his last fight in mixed martial arts. Alex Pereira has only been in about less than 10 mixed martial arts fights. And this motherfucker is the middleweight champion right now.
Wow.
That is fucking insane and unheard of.
Yeah.
I never hear about shit like that till like the early 90s of the UFC, like the old ugly era. Like, come on, man. This is bonkers, bro. That's like Brock Lesnar type shit, pretty much.
Right.
If you think about it. Yeah, that's Brock Lesnar type shit.
Randy Couture, bro, in like his second fight. Yeah.
Like, yo, come on, man. This shit is crazy.
Yeah.
And for Israel to literally fight that whole fight perfectly and still lose is the most bonkers thing that you could think of.
Right.
Like, he didn't lose on a technicality. He got beat up. Like, he was winning the fight. No, he wasn't winning the fight. Well, he almost knocked out Alex in the first round. He got the takedowns, but then Alex managed to keep landing strikes and kept hurting him. So eventually, that's what happened. Like, he hurt him good and well enough to when the 5th round came, he just poured it on him. And he couldn't do nothing. And that's what happened. Right. Now Alex is the middleweight champ. We also got Gilbert Burns, former welterweight title challenger, fighting the returning Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal, y'all know the deal. He's been out here in Miami. He's been fighting for years. He fought in the backyards with Kimbo.
Yep.
Fucking started a whole MMA career after that. This motherfucker was taking fights while having the most ugliest diet in the world. Motherfucker didn't even believe in dieting. This motherfucker was snacking on McDonald's when he had fights weeks on. You know what I mean? Like in a couple days, this motherfucker was snacking McDonald's and then just changed it. Right. But he's been a guy, you know, and he's been talking about possibly retiring now. Now that he's managed to have his own MMA organization and Icon Boxing. Icon Fighting Championships. He's had the boxing thing that he's trying to do now, that he started up, that's been doing okay. We'll see what happens though, man. But the boy got KO power. We'll see how he handles though.
Yeah.
A fight I'm interested in, Adrian Yanez versus Rob Font. 2 bantamweights, 2 nasty strikers, respectively, in their boxing acumen. Rob Font representing, well, he's actually born in Florida, but he grew up in Florida, moved to Boston, moved to Massachusetts. He's returning home pretty much against Adrian Yanez, who's shown up, and in the past couple years now, I think 3 now, he's been killing it. We also got Kevin Holland, who likes trash talking. He's the dude who talks in the middle of the fights.
Yeah, I know how.
He's fighting Santiago Ponzinibbio. That's going to be crazy. And the young dude who now is 18 years old, Raul Rosas Jr., the youngest signing in UFC history, is going to be fighting Christian Rodriguez in the opener of the main card. We got returns of Kelvin Gastelum. He's fighting Chris Curtis. The always skilled and very attractive, the karate hottie Michelle Waterson will be fighting another attractive lady and killer striker in Luana Pinheiro. We got Gerald Mearshart versus the new guy, Joseph Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer's been the UFC's looking pretty they got high hopes for Joseph Pfeiffer. Let's say that, because Dana White gave this man loaned this man money, brought this man a car and shit. And also been helping him get his things together. So that's what's happening. We also got Chase Sherman on this card, Cynthia Calvillo, Lupita Godinez. A couple good opening cards. Oh, yeah, and Jacqueline Amarim will be making her debut against Sam Hughes. Amarim fought for the LFA strawweight title. She won it. The girl's undefeated at 6-0, but she's a hell of a skilled fighter. But that's it, man. Anything else? Not really. Till later this month when we get Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. Other than that, man, that's all for combat sports stuff, pretty much.
Nice. Sounds like a lot of exciting stuff coming up. I like this card coming up, this Pahea card. A lot of good people on Gilbert Burns. I like Kevin Hollins. The couple of the female fights. There's a lot of people on here I like. This is probably, I might actually definitely check this out some type of way. Kevin Gastelum, I like him. Michelle Watterson. Yeah, this is a bunch of people on here I like. Bunch. Chase Sherman. It's a bunch of people on here I like. This is going to be a hell of a card. If God forbid none of these fights drop off, this is going to be a good card. And it's coming up next week, a couple days from now on a Saturday. So, yeah, this should be a good card, man. We'll definitely, every Saturday as usual. Even if I got to work when I get off, we'll do this. Matter of fact, do I got to work Saturday? Let me check if I have to work because I got an app I log into for my schedule. Let's see if I more than likely I do because I already have both my off days early in the week today and on Wednesday. I hate when they split my off days. 6, 3, 5, 6, 4. But yeah, JoJo, man, this is a great time for wrestling. A lot to be optimistic about. Raw tonight don't sound like it was much of anything, which is strange. The last two go-home Raws, the post-WrestleMania Raws haven't been that great. Last year, I recall not being that great either. I don't know what WWE's philosophy is. I get off late Saturday, but we'll still do a show. It don't matter. I'll be up because on Sunday, I work in the evening on Sunday. Yeah, I'll be good. So we still look good. I don't have to work till 3 o'clock on Sunday. Yeah, so a lot of good things to look forward to with wrestling right now. A lot of good direction. This is a good deal. Like I said, a lot of the paperwork not going to be finalized to like late spring, they said. So the one thing that caught me off guard that I forgot to mention, it's a possibility of rebranding of WWE with the name. That's what because the guy asked him in the 16-minute interview, what are they going to call it? And they said, we're actually working on that now. So to be determined, possible either name change or rebranding. Knowing the way I know Vince McMahon, I highly doubt it's a name change. It's more than likely going to be a rebranding. JoJo, you think they actually going to go through with that?
A rebranding?
Yeah, for WWE under the
Endeavor. Maybe. Probably.
Yeah,
maybe. Not something big though. Maybe.
Right. It's going to be like a draft just to get the stank off what's happening with Vince. I think a lot of it's going to come down to it. That I'm sorry, not Vince anymore. Gomez Adams. That's who he is. Like he just, and then like whoever lined them up, they bogus yourself. Like come on, bro. Like, you gonna be able to lean in line and like come on, son.
It's like I didn't peep that. He got he got an angled out mustache. That shit is crazy.
He's like, yeah, damn it, make me like a cartoon character. I remember Gomez Adams. Make me him.
Oh, shit.
Oh man! All right, see Victor. Oh shit, we're almost done anyway. We're done in literally the next 2 minutes. But yeah, he got the shitty all. His face look all like plasticky. I don't know what's going on with Vince right now, JoJo. It's just it's weird things going on. But hey, he hasn't lost his brain because he's getting people to pay him $9.6 billion, which I believe that's way over market value for WWE. Just one man's opinion, but he got them to pay it. I mean, he's still, pal. His brain is still working. Them chair start some Austin and all that stuff, then kill his brain. So how does Vince have better brain cells than indie wrestlers? Vince is in better health than Tommaso Ciampa and Bobby Fish put together. How is that even happen? How? He didn't take all of, but he in better health than, and God bless his brother's soul. Oh, I meant to bring this up, Jojo. How could we not mention this? And it's
Oh my
probably
God, yeah, Bushwhacker Butch, man.
What's that?
Are you talking about Bushwhacker Butch?
Oh no, go ahead with that. I was about to say something else, but what happened with Bushwhacker Butch? I didn't hear nothing about that.
Yeah, he passed away, man. That was news earlier today.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he passed at 78 years old, man.
Wow. Yeah, he was right age, 78. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Bless his family. No, Dante Martin, the crazy, he broke his leg.
Oh, I forgot to mention that. I watched that.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was nasty. And I'll say one thing on it.
Yeah.
Unnecessary injury because of an unnecessary spot. That's all I gotta say.
Absolutely.
There was no need to have that spot at all. And they did it.
Yeah.
And this man, God bless, man, because those dudes have had a string of bad luck.
Yeah.
Every time when you think they're going to get pushed and it looks like they're doing something, one of the two get injured.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate because they're young guys.
Right.
They're a young team. That's not supposed to be happening.
No.
At the rate that is happening to a young team.
Right.
So, like, yo, I don't know. Yo, Tony, you got to do better. You got to do better with your time. Freak accident, yes.
Right.
Unnecessary spot, though, because the way he angled off after it landed to the tables, twisted up the ankle. That whole ankle's broke.
Yeah.
That whole thing is gone.
Yeah.
Like, let me explain how crazy this is.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch the video. He was laying on his back, and his foot was able to turn in the opposite direction.
Oh, my God.
That's how bad that break is. That's not a dislocation. That's a break.
Right.
He's out for next year. We won't see him till next year.
That's like a Big E type injury. Well, it's uncertain when he's coming back. Like that's, well, Big is a lot worse, obviously, because he was wearing a halo. But it's wrestlers. You are your investment in your wealth. You cannot be taking reckless ass bumps like that, dude. No. I don't know how. And a lot of wrestlers interpret this as you trying to tell us what to do. No, I don't want you to die. Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't want you to kill yourself in the ring, dude. You have to learn. And when Jim Ross is like snarky, sarcastically retweeting other people's stuff, you know something is up. You know Jim Ross is pissed that man is in the doghouse. You should know that he's pissed about that. And he retweeted somebody, by God, they're idiots, but they don't listen to nobody, goddamn. Like, he retweeted
somebody put that and he retweeted it.
Yeah.
He retweeted the injury because somebody talked about it was a stupid move, a stupid mistake, and he retweeted it. He liked and retweeted it. Yeah.
Somebody needs to step in and tell Tony Khan. And the problem about it is a lot of people that's associated with him are disconnected from the wrestling business. They need somebody that like a Vince that can like tell people like, bro, you're not doing that. Like that's too much of a liability. Like that, no, you're like they need like a Bill Watts or something like that over there. I know Bill Watts is not everybody's cup of tea, but boy, it's a reason Mid-South Wrestling was good because Bill Watts was not gonna let you do nothing stupid. It was not gonna happen on his watch. Exactly. And the problem with a lot of these wrestlers is they don't have a Vince McMahon or Bill Watts to tell them no. Because don't slow the wrestler around, let them do what they're going to do, but make sure they're not doing unnecessary. Like Foley, I'm pretty sure a lot of the stuff that Foley did that made it to TV wasn't half as worse as the stuff that Vince McMahon told him no to. Like, Mick, we love you, but you're not going to die on TV, dude. And then on top of that, Mick Foley used to bring his kids to the shows with him. Like, the Vince was probably, you can say whatever you want about it. It was certain stuff Vince was not going to let you do. Like, no, that is stupid. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And sometimes Vince should have been told no. Like, the fact that he thought it was a good idea to take a clothesline off that cage to that table sideways, which is one of the most dangerous spots ever because you can't see where you're going to land. Like, somebody should have told him, like, but he's the boss. What you going to tell Vince? Like the fact that he gave instructions with blowed out quads. One of the most iconic, like, now, how ironic, JoJo, is it that Shane has torn quads just like his father?
Exactly. That's what a lot of people were saying during the show. They were tweeting that.
The big mans need to stop doing so many squats, bro. You don't need to do 1,000 fucking squats. Like, we get the point, man. You got
They said that
nice
shit was
legs.
unbelievable. That's the most high. That's the highest of high coincidence of
Oh
anything.
my god, that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Like that. But we go wrap it up, people. But this has been a super show, which is why I went an hour longer than we've been going lately, because it was a lot to cover. This is a monumental, like, this is going to be one of those episodes me and JoJo look back on when we in our 40s, and we be like, bro, I can't believe we even talked about that. Yeah, that actually happened in our lifetime. You know what I mean? Vince McMahon looks like Gomez Adams. Like, this is a thing. Like, who would have thought?
Seriously,
Vince will have black hair with a mustache. Like, Marissa, have you seen Vince's new look? Like, who would have thought this, son? Like, certain things. Shane tore his quads like his daddy. Vince is bought by they merged with the UFC. Like, Rey Mysterio's in the Hall of Fame. He's still an actor. Conan came back. Like, these Snoop Dogg wrestled. Like,
for real,
things happened this weekend. So things have happened, man. Like, who would have thought, man? But yeah, we're gonna wrap it. We'll be back tomorrow because we gotta cover. I just want to see what WWE follows up with NXT. I'm genuinely interested to see how they follow in any other news, because some things I didn't get to go is Marissa, but I guess about which Snoop Dogg now, Marissa, or when he was in AEW with that frog splash, because Marissa loves that Snoop Dogg fucked up that frog splash. But we'll be back tomorrow, because I got a feeling it's gonna be some fallout with the news or Raw and shit. So we'll cover that in NXT. So then after that, we'll be back Saturday for MMA. But yeah, as always, for me, for BX Connect, for two more people that might be regulars on here, old school Jason, I enjoy having him. Omari, he's been a nice addition to the show, a young person's addition to the show. Oh, when he did the people's elbow. Oh, the Snoop Dogg, the what JoJo talk about, the high times elbow. That is hilarious. Oh man, Snoop. Like I said, Snoop was meant to be a wrestler, man. Big ups to Snoop. Marissa, watch the replay. You're gonna be dying laughing, because this was a funny episode we had, or whatever. You just came on at the end. And as always, word up, son. Thank you for getting on here, man. And we'll see y'all again tomorrow night, son. Alrighty, y'all.
Hi, y'all. Good night.
Right,
good night, Marissa.
Yep.
Later, y'all.
All right. Bless y'all families and everything. Y'all be smooth.
Indeed.